Looking for a Valentine's gift she'll truly love? 1-800-Flowers.com knows what she wants. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped guys like you get it right, delivering millions of fresh Valentine's roses nationwide. 1-800-Flowers offers premium fresh-cut flowers backed by their 7-day freshness guarantee, plus same-day delivery when you need them on time. Valentine's is coming up and bouquets are selling fast, so don't wait on this. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. Goldbelly ships Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garden's famous cakes. So, if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's goldbelly.com, promo code GIFT.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. I know you're probably tired of hearing people say, new year, new me. However, it can be a new year and a new you. Everyone is trying to get back into the gym. They're trying to do some weight loss things. You may have also heard of GLP-1s. Well, our friends over at Ro has gotten you covered with the new GLP-1 pill. The pill is a new, more convenient and approachable way to GLP-1s if you've been thinking about it. A self-administered shot can be a bit intimidating. But now there's a pill that delivers comparable results. If you've been thinking about getting on a GLP-1, Ro might be the way to do it. They have 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA-approved medications, free insurance checks, side effects management, dosing support, and more. Ro offers the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. The new GLP-1 pill has the same weight loss ingredient as the shot and packs comparable results to the shot. It can help patients lose 14% of their body weight in a year on average. This is based on a study in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight plus a weight-related condition with diet and exercise. You may have also seen Serena Williams talk about collaborating and endorsing Ro as well. As a world-class athlete, she also wanted to drop pounds after having children. If I had needed this particular option, this is what I would use. A pill versus a shot? Why not? Go to ro.co/Kempire to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. That's ro.co/Kempire to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medication. More details on your discount and more will be available in the description. And welcome back to the show. Happy Monday, everyone. Monday. Whew, Lord, where did the weekend go? Where has February gone? Well, where has January gone? It's now February, so happy Black History Month. This is a month where we should all be making an effort to learn something new about Black history. It doesn't matter who you are. If anything, more so if you're not Black, you should be making a bigger effort to learn something about something or someone. And this is the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. Okay? So, happy Black History Month. I hope that you guys, even though it's the shortest month of the year. Okay, look, we have to say it. It's the shortest month of the year. But make an effort. One of my favorite classes in college that I took, you know, you could take all different types of classes, but I was so happy that they offered at my college at the time a Black history course, because I'm telling you, in that course alone, I learned so much in college versus what they teach you in grammar school. I'm glad for social media platforms like TikTok and things like that, because I think even at our big age, we've learned things that we didn't learn in school. And now I think we're understanding that that was intentional. And look, even when we were younger, they were talking about how the rewriting of history was happening. We didn't realize that there was still a lot more that we didn't know. There's so much more. So I hope you will take an effort to really reflect on some of our heroes and some of the people that today really affect your life. in the smallest of ways that you don't even realize. So make an effort today to learn a little bit of something every single day of Black History Month. How many days do we have this month? 28. Right? It's 28. It's 28 days this month. All right. But happy Black History Month, guys. All right. Before we get into Karen's 101 interview, the season finale, technically, of The Real Housewives of Potomac, I did want to talk a little bit about the Grammys. The Grammys were last night, and I enjoyed it for the most part. And apparently, so did Nicki Minaj. This will probably be the last time that I even utter the words Nicki Minaj, because I think at this particular point, she likes it when people talk about her. Any way to get attention, good, bad, or indifferent. All right? And I'm always still very much shocked that there are people still supporting this woman when she clearly doesn't support you. But then I shouldn't be surprised because you see who they voted for to put in office. So then there's that. I shouldn't be shocked. I shouldn't be. No. But Trevor Noah was the host. This is his final year hosting the Grammy Awards. And if you are new here, let me just tell you, I've always loved Trevor Noah. I think he just smart, funny. I think he did his big one last night. I didn't love him the last couple of years of hosting the Grammys, but I've enjoyed him. But you could tell that, when you are about to graduate and you're done with a place and you're just like, I want to burn everything. That is what it felt like for Trevor Noah last night, because he went after everything that was going on in the news. He talked about Nicki Minaj. He talked about Donald Trump, to the point where Donald Trump is threatening to sue Trevor Noah for his joke about Epstein Island and Trump possibly being there. Well, the Epstein Files has your name all over it, sir. Just asking. Your name keeps coming up in the Epstein Files in some shape or form. So, look. But I guess, with the country that we're living in, free speech, especially with Don Lemon being arrested, along with the other journalists that were with him covering the protests in Minneapolis, free speech is questionable in the United States of America. You know what is also questionable? Nicki Minaj, that little card that Donald Trump gave you that we've now found out is a memento. It actually doesn't have any legal standing protecting you as an undocumented immigrant in this country. Whoa. Oh, I saw Nicki Minaj also had comments about Lizzo. Oh, all right, fine. Okay. But overall, I do think that Trevor Noah did a fantastic job. But speaking of Nicki Minaj tried to, quote, out Trevor Noah, saying that he's in the closet. And look, hear me out. We're not here for outing people. However, this particular one, I said, wait, I have a chance? Selfish reasons. But when Trevor's ready, I will be here for him. Yes. I will be here for him. Well, she also said he had a boyfriend. Well, she said boyfriend. She didn't say husband. No, I'm playing. I'm being facetious. These are jokes. Please understand. All right. Look, that's all I heard. Everything out of my mind. Nicki Minaj was being derogatory and acting up on social media. She had all kinds of things. She was clearly watching the Grammys. Has she won one yet? Okay. Harvey Mason, you were looking good in that suit. I interviewed Harvey years ago before he was, for those who don't even know who Harvey Mason Jr. is, he is the president of the Recording Academy. But before that, he, of course, was a producer and musician, and he's written some of your classics. I interviewed him on Kempire Radio. The interview should be still up there, so you could hear my interview. And Harvey, you got rid of that hair. And I said, okay, Harvey. But anyway, I've digressed. I've digressed again. Trevor called me. What? Who said that? Who said that? Bree says, no, ma'am, not a one. Oh, you don't. Damn, Nikki, still?
Whoa.
Look, and I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve one, because I used to love the music. But can I live without it? Yes, I can, and I will. And Barb's, leave me alone. Look, Barb's, leave me alone. All right. Before we move on, there were more things that I wanted to say about the Grammys. First of all, did you guys see Justin Bieber performing in his boxers? Everyone's talking about him performing in his boxers. I want to talk about, first of all, the vocals. He sounded amazing. He actually looks really healthy, because there was a point where Justin Bieber was not looking very healthy. But he looked good. He sounded incredible. I really enjoyed his performance. I thought he did really, really well. I have reached the point in my life, the age, where a lot of these artists I didn't know by face or name, but when they started singing their songs, I was like, oh my God, you sing that song? And I finally got to hear the full version, because a lot of these songs are very like TikTok songs. It's a very different time. Very different time, except my girl. Congratulations to Olivia Dean. She won Best New Artist at the Grammys for, look, she's had an incredible, first of all, song, but now she has a bunch of other songs she performed last night. Do you guys think that was a good choice? I think so. But when I was looking at the artists that were nominated for Best New Artist, I was like, oh, well, I like that song too. I didn't know the full version, but I like that song too. Bruno Mars performed last night. I didn't really even realize he was on that particular song. He looked good and healthy too. He was releasing a new album. He's going on tour. I was like, who? That's this. Oh, I didn't know that song. Oh, I knew it, but I didn't know who sang it. Right? Who else performed last night? Kendrick Lamar won. Okay. First of all, I'm going to be all over the face, but I will focus at one particular point. Cher. So Cher was honored last night, but she was also supposed to present Record of the Year. But apparently Cher did not remember that. She left the stage. She went on to this tangent, and I was like, wait, you're supposed to be presenting Record of the Year. Please understand, Cher might look like she is 40, but Cher is about to be 80 years old this year. She's a Taurus. Shout out to all the Tauruses. But Cher is a woman of a particular age. She looks amazing. Okay? And honestly, I think it was kismet when she says, and the Record of the Year goes to Luther Vandross. First of all, Luther does win a Grammy as well, along with Kendrick Lamar and SZA. I loved Kendrick Lamar's speech honoring Luther Vandross. I loved hearing a little bit about how that came to be and the clearance for that, and that they couldn't cuss on the record. I loved that he had a Chanel suit on. He looked sharp, and then he had the little pick in his hair. I was like, here we are. I see people are saying that he didn't deserve it. People, they just feel like the Grammys are just throwing things at him. Look, I've never been like a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, but the brother had some hits, and he had a sold out world tour, stadium tour. Kendrick deserved his awards. Pharrell was honored. I know that he wasn't going to necessarily thank Chad, the other part of the Neptunes, but it felt like he should have, right? And why was he dressed why were the Clips and him dressed alike? I know they have the song together and he produced their new project. They won their first Grammy. Shout out to the Clips. I was shocked by that. FK Twigs won her first Grammy. I was shocked by that. Congratulations to Durand and all the other Butch Queens. That was in his speech. Won his first Grammy for as an independent artist. That is just the sign of the times. It's someone that grew up in the music industry and just following this. That was unheard of back in the day. So I remember watching Durand for the very first time on YouTube, doing YouTube covers, all the way from YouTube, traveling and touring with Erykah Badu, to now winning first Grammy. Congratulations, Durand. I want to also say congratulations to another Taurus, Kalani. Kalani won her 2 Grammys. two. Kalani won 2 Grammys for the song Folded. So congratulations to Kalani. I love that for her. Who else won last night? I'm just going through my little Grammy catch-up, all right? We're going through the Grammy catch-up to give people a moment so the notifications are out. We are live. We're going to talk about some other things in a second. So I did take a couple of notes in regards to who I wanted to congratulate. So congratulations to FK Twigs. Congratulations to Kalani. Congratulations to Duran. Congratulations to Leon Thomas. Congratulations to Olivia Dean. Congratulations to my friends, Claude Kelly and Chuck Harmony, because they also produced on Duran's project. Congratulations to Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny won 3 Grammys last night, but it was when he won Album of the Year. First time, couple of things. First time that a Spanish language album has won Album of the Year. It's also the first time that an artist that won Album of the Year for the Latin Grammys also won for the Regular Degula Grammys. Not Regular Degula, yeah. All kinds of records, but in that moment, literally, he did not get up. And he just was just taking in the moment. And then when he pulled his hands from his eyes and you saw the tears, I got emotional. Mind you, I'm not a Bad Bunny fan like that. You know, like I don't know the music, even though I do know that song that Trevor Noah tried to have him sing. I was like, oh, wait, I do know that song. I don't know the lyrics, but I know it. I bopped my head to it. I'm going to get all in. Trevor Noah tried to make him sing. But Bad Bunny's performing at the Super Bowl next Sunday. So he can't perform any music. That's why he didn't perform at the Grammys. But I love what the Grammys did. You can't perform. However, I will perform it for you. But he did sing a little bit of it. Did you guys notice? Did you notice Lady Gaga, who's performed at the Super Bowl, and she understands the legality of this all? She was not amused by Trevor Noah doing that. Lady Gaga, take the stick out of your you-know-what. I love me some Lady Gaga, but I was like, calm down. He knows what he's doing. Then they came out with the band doing the song. I was like, okay. I'm gonna learn all the lyrics come this Sunday. I'm gonna get into all of the new Bad Bunny. But I was emotional watching him get emotional. And I love the fact that he went up there and accepting Album of the Year. He's always been this person, Bad Bunny. He's very intentional. That's why I'm looking forward to his halftime show, because I know he's going to be even more intentional. In one of his speeches earlier, he was calling out ICE. A lot of the people at the Grammys were calling out ICE, including Billie Eilish. Everyone made a point to say something. But earlier in the Grammys, when he won another Grammy, he called out ICE. But in this particular speech, since it was the first time a Spanish language album won Album of the Year, his speech was in all Spanish. And I was like, but I text one of my friends that speaks Spanish. I said, can you translate this for me? Oh, wait, I can read it to you for those that didn't get the translation. Okay, I got the translation from a friend. Please hold. All right, so the translation from Bad Bunny's speech. Let me go back up here. So some of what was said. Puerto Rico, believe me when I say we are much bigger than 135. Then, and there is nothing that exists that we can't do. Thank you to the Academy and all the people who have believed in me throughout my career and everyone who has worked on the album with me. Thank you, Mom, for giving birth to me in Puerto Rico. I want to dedicate this award to all the people who have left their country and families to pursue their dreams and, despite how hard it is, still working hard and going through the pain with strength. And also for all the Latinos and Latino artists before me. I mean, I'm going by my friend's translation. He could be lying to me, but I know some Spanish. So I was like, no, that sounds, yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. So congratulations to Bad Bunny. I look forward to seeing his very intentional performance at the Super Bowl's halftime show. Okay. I also wanted to mention the tribute to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack. Lauryn Hill must curate every tribute going forward. If I ever in my life get a musical tribute, Okay, shut up. It might happen. Look, it will happen. Okay? And when it happens, please ensure that Lauryn Hill's the curator. Because as you saw, Brandy was honored this week by the Recording Academy in a separate event. And then Mariah Carey for the Music Cares, the Recording Academy's Music Cares, she was the Person of the Year there. First of all, shout out to Hollywood Unlocked getting that red carpet moment from Billy Porter. F her. What? F her. I hope his breath was fresh. Okay? But that performance that Billy Porter gave, I was so glad that the blogs told me what song it was. I said, what song is he singing? The disrespect of Mariah Carey. She's given us so much in music, and you guys can't get together and put together a good tribute. And I think most of it was wrong song choice and wrong people. I don't want to see Jennifer Hudson performing. No, not for Mariah Carey. No. I do want to see Shantae Moore, but not for, baby, can you give it to me? I'm going to give it to you. She could do so much more. She could actually do the whistle note. She's not going to blow in and do an actual whistle. Jennifer Hudson. That's not what Mariah does, J Hud. Just what I thought it could get. J Hud took the mic and whistled into it. I know Mariah was very focused to make sure that her face did not crack, okay? She made sure that her face did not crack in that moment. You all owe Money Long an apology. Yes, it wasn't that great, her tribute to Mariah, but it was better than that. It was better than that. She didn't blow into the mic. Okay? I still want Shantae Moore to be a part of it. I just don't think that was the song for her. She needs to come out there and do the whistle note for us. Okay? All right? J-Hud, we love you. I think you're talented, but no. Look, no. I did like Charlie Plouffe. I thought his performance was good. John Lynch's performance was good for the Mariah Carey. This was before the Grammys. This was on Friday. I thought that was good. I don't know what Billy Porter was doing. That was a mess. Y'all owe her one. Someone needs to do a new one. BET Awards, come on, please and thank you. But rewinding back, the Grammys ended with a special performance from Lauryn Hill curating this amazing group of artists: Raphael Sadiq, Leon Thomas, Shaka Khan, John Legend, Layla Hathaway, Wyclef Jean, of course, Miss Lauryn Hill. Lauryn curated, she had everyone come out. October London. There was so many. If I missed you, I apologize. There were so many people that came out and did a beautiful tribute to D'Angelo and to Roberta Flack. And I was so glad that Lauryn came out and she did The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face, because there's a video of her covering that on YouTube that I've always loved. So I was glad she included it in this tribute. She, of course, did the original version of Killing Me Softly, but brought Wyclef out to do the Fugees version. And I love how everyone got up and they were just like, yes. It was such a beautiful celebration of D'Angelo's life. Recording Academy, I don't understand why you didn't originally invite his son. That didn't make sense to me. I love that they did throw up an image of Angie Stone. They could have also thrown in "My Sunshine Has Come." Y'all could have threw that in there a little bit. Look, a little bit. They also threw John Forte, who was also part of the refugee camp and worked with Lauryn on Miseducation. So I thought it was beautiful. Lauryn should curate all of the tributes, and she's a music lover, so I'm not surprised. Curate all the tributes, and let's get a do-over for Mariah Carey. Mr. Melon Magic says, no one called Ashley Darby? Thank God. All right. I have digressed, but that is fine. But that was the Grammys. I do want to get into this one-on-one interview with Karen Huger and Andy Cohen last night. Did you guys watch? How would you rate the sit down? We even got to see her son, Brandon. Brandon made an appearance. I mean, barely. We couldn't even see Brandon's eyes. Brandon had the hat so low. Look, let me put my hat on. Brandon had the hat so low, you couldn't even. I was like, is that Brandon or is that a doppelganger? The hat was so low, you couldn't even see his eyes. I was like, all right, but I could see those cheeks. He was looking just like Karen. All right. I did want to mention some of the things that happened in the after show. They had like a 13-minute after show to the ladies reacting a little bit to Karen being back and just their thoughts. Not me frozen this early on. That's okay. Y'all can do it. Give me the countdown. Which number are we up to? 14? Look, 14, The Wire. It's all right. But here we are. I'm back. Lene says 15. I don't think we're up to 15 yet. Okay. But it's okay. At least it happened early. That means that maybe it won't happen later. Let's hope. I still haven't changed it. No, I haven't changed it, y'all. RC says Brandon looks like his mama, right? We haven't seen him in so long, which I'm okay with. I love the fact that we barely see Karen's children on this show. I like the fact that they're not interested in being a face on reality television. Sidebar: I thought that about Riley. I don't want Riley to become a reality star because I already told you about the cycle. You know what I mean? I want more for our youth to then get stuck in this reality TV cycle and they have nothing else going on for them. You know? But you know her mom ain't gonna let that happen. But I just don't love that for them. Okay? Angel says, it is 15, Kempire. Shut up. I'm being facetious for those that might be new here. Like, damn, he told her to shut up. Joking. We're joking. We joke. We kid. All right? All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the after show before we get into the Karen sit down. So the ladies did an after show. It's like 13 minutes. You can watch it on Peacock. I think some of it is also on YouTube. You're welcome, Bravo. Y'all don't pay me for that. Y'all should. So Jazzy does a really good Karen impersonation. Did you guys see that impersonation? I was like, wait a minute, Jazzy. That's a really good impersonation. Yeah. I did also watch Jazzy's interview with our friends over at the Reality TV Rundown. Oh, Jazzy, you're playing the game. I see it. You're playing the game. You're shucking and jiving to be with the right people. And I can't respect that, to be honest with you. But I still think that I want to see more of Jazzy next season as opposed to a Kiarna. They also speculated that, I hope because they also talked about the reunion, because at this particular point they didn't film the reunion. They hope for Kiarna that she would get engaged at the reunion. All we saw at the reunion. Do I have the picture here? I should have the picture here. Hold on, let me bring up the picture. Do I have the picture here? I think I do. Where is it? Is this it? No, that's not it. Yes, here we go with the picture frame. This is all she gonna get at this reunion is the picture frame. She really brought the picture frame to the reunion, y'all. Oh, Lord have mercy. Miss Parker says Jazzy's impersonation was very good. I agree. I was like, okay, Jazzy, I didn't see that. But I thought that was good. Let's be clear. That was like, bad timing, Kempire. We're being facetious, but not literally. Take a drink, take a shot every time Karen says, let's be clear. I was like, oh. But I don't drink and you shouldn't either, okay? It's early anyway. And don't tell me it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Okay. No. Anyway. So they react to how would Karen react if she was on this trip? And Monique was just like, it would be worse. I don't know if we could have handled Karen and Giselle because they feel like that Karen would have been worse than Giselle on this trip. I think Karen would have had more tact, though. I think she would have seen that. I think she would have been more sensitive. in regards to seeing that Angel was falling apart during this trip, I think she would have helped her. To be honest, I really do feel like she would have helped her. Would she have had her shady comments? Of course. Exactly. Ms. Parker says, let's be clear and let's talk about it. Those are the words she kept on saying. Let's be clear. I'm going to add that to the soundboard. Let's be clear. How many times she going to say that? I feel like the more you say it, the more I'm like, like, we're not very clear, I guess. Hey, Paola Power says, I'm Puerto Rican Spanish teacher. I've been playing Bad Bunny while they work so they can bop to it at the Super Bowl. I love that. I wish I had a cool teacher like you. Shout out to all the teachers. Because that'd be nice. Look. While you trying to get your work done? Just saying. All right. That's how I used to do it back in the day when I would be home doing homework. I would either have music playing or the TV in the background. And I was an honor student. Okay, so don't try and act like it didn't help. It did. Bring back the arts. All right. So Wendy says that she's interested to find out who the mole is. And Stacey was like, you know who it is. Who's the mole? Ashley? Who's the mole? As soon as I thought, I was like, wait, it can't be Karen. Because Karen got the mole, literally. But I was like, wait. So Wendy says she's interested to find out who the mole is. And then I said to myself, I'm interested to see who actually robbed your home. Okay. That's what I'm interested in. Okay. You already seen the reunion trailer, guys. I did do a separate video where you can see my thoughts on the preview for this one-on-one with Karen, my initial thoughts, and the reunion trailer that came out last week. So if you missed it, be sure to check that out. All right. So that was interesting. So all the group talks about whether or not they've spoken to Karen since Karen's been released. And I feel like Jazzy said that she's sent her some stuff. She's texted with Karen. Giselle has texted with her. It seems like Karen was really limited in regards to her interacting with the ladies, which probably was intentional, maybe from production. They didn't want them communicating with Karen like that or being with Karen. Hence also why you see at the beginning why Karen, when that reporter comes up asking her for a statement, she probably at that particular point already agreed with Bravo that they would have the first comments from her. She was very concerned that she had been rude to the guy by, rolling up her window. But anyone that understands contracts, but if you don't, I'll explain it. I'm sure she probably signed a contract with Bravo to be the first to have the one-on-one conversation. Hence why you probably don't understand why Jen Shah is not in good favor with the network, because I don't know if she had an agreement with the network, but she already had a contract with them, and she ended up doing a one-on-one outside of Bravo. She didn't do a one-on-one with Andy Cohen. She did a one-on-one with a YouTuber. So that's part, I believe, of why the network doesn't want to work with a Jen Shah. But we'll get to Karen and what Karen had to say in a second. So Wendy says, because there's been some issues between Wendy and Karen. She says that she spoke to Karen. She hadn't spoken to Karen since her release, but she had spoken to Karen during all, the trial and things like that and what she was going through. So she had sent her some support. Okay. Mind you, she's mentioning these things because she talked about how, what she was going through was a lot. She can't say, I understand, because they're not addressing her legal issues. But remember, literally, this happened. They started filming the after show right after her arrest. Hence why you probably notice her body language seems a little pulled back. She seems a little almost sedated. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe she's taking something just to kind of keep her calm. I can't imagine what she could be going through. She seemed very pulled back during this after show. So Monique says that she isn't that happy with Karen. Did you guys see this in the after show? So apparently Monique says that Karen reached out to her, and I wrote down exactly what Karen said. And she says that Karen reached out to her about her microblading person. And she's just like, she felt like she was being used as opposed to this is my friend. and I'm going to twerk on the fence on here because I can kind of see what Monique is saying. But then when she read the text message, I was like, well, she wasn't like, hey, girl, can you send me your microblade person? Thanks. It wasn't like that. So Karen sent her a text, Monique a text saying, hi, Monique, it's Karen. Congratulations on season 10. I'm thinking of getting my eyebrows microed again. Can you hook your sister up? Give the best to the kids. So I feel like it was polite, but I can understand instead of immediately asking for something, like, how you doing? Start a conversation as opposed to immediately jumping in. You know what I mean? So I felt like I get where Monique could be coming from, but at the same time, I was sort of like, well, at least it wasn't like she was rude. She did say hello. She did congratulate you on returning. She even wished your kids well. But I get it. Everyone, especially when it's a text, you don't know the energy or how it was said. But I feel like she was polite. You know what I mean? I mean, could she have done it a little bit better? I'm still waiting on some friends to wish me a Happy New Year back. I'm still waiting on that. So you worried about how Karen said it? I have some friends that I'm looking at like, wow, you can't even say Happy New Year? Really? Please understand, if I haven't spoken to you in 2026, I'm leaving you in 2025. Innocent Instigator, thank you for being a member. That picture, Innocent Instigator, says Monique is reaching, girl, bye. I feel like it was a bit of a reach, right? I'm just sort of like, I kind of understand you wanted maybe one other text before asking about your microblader. She said she didn't even respond to Karen. I was like, okay, so is this going to be beef? She said she still considers Karen a friend, but they need to have a conversation. Did you all notice what Ashley was saying? Oh, maybe she hasn't changed. Ashley is no one's friend. And this is what she's done to Monique the entire season, gaslighting Monique with information about these different people in the group. That is not a friend, Monique. Because I know you're going to watch, girl. Hey, that is not a friend. You need to be careful with someone like Ashley. She's not looking out for you. She's trying to add gas to a situation as opposed to trying to be like, well, Monique, instead of being rational, she did ask about, she did congratulate you. She did ask about the kids. You know what I mean? But no, she was just like, maybe she hasn't changed. Maybe she's, it sounds like she's using you. And I'm like, wow, like you didn't give her any grace, but this is Ashley. Ashley doesn't give anyone grace. Ashley, did you guys see Ashley on Watch What Happens Live? Did you see the comment that she had to make about Bobby? Apparently, Bobby must have gotten loud with production or something like that. And that's why she made the comment about him having a temper. But she doesn't like the fact that Angel is making it seem like she called Bobby aggressive and the angry black man. You insinuated it, Ashley. Stop it. You're such a Karen when you want to be. Such a Karen. That's exactly how the rest of the audience picked up on it. You were making it seem like he was some angry black man, and that's not what we've seen of him. Maybe some things happen behind the scenes and stuff like that, but I didn't like how you did that. I did not like how you did that, and now you're trying to act like that's not how you insinuated it. That's how I picked it up, and apparently the rest of the audience did too. And we have never seen Bobby act that way. We have never seen him act that way. And look, according to her, he was getting loud with production behind the scenes and things like that. Maybe he was. But you could tell he don't play about Angel, and I don't blame him. And here's the thing, too. Oh, Lord. There's a whole conversation, because we were talking about this with traders. The unconscious bias when it comes to black people in spaces. Just because, he's 7 foot tall, and maybe he's... And look, I can't imagine him getting angry, but maybe he's speaking very clear. And all of a sudden, Ashley the Karen is just like, I didn't like the way he was getting loud with production and things like that. Was he getting loud? Or was he defending his wife? I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I don't trust people like Giselle and Ashley to report this information to us because they have a history of pouring sauce on situations. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I need to see it for myself. And based on what we've seen of Bobby, no, that's I'm not going to believe Ashley. You're Karen. Get out of here. I said what I said. All right. Let's move on. So let's get to the one-on-one. So they open with the arrest footage from Karen. The arrest footage, we've gone through it. We've reviewed it. We broke it down when it all happened. Can you believe come March is going to be 2 years since her arrest? Ooh, that's crazy. So they show the arrest footage, a little bit of the arrest footage at the beginning. Then they show the group reacting to Karen going to jail at the top of the season, okay? And, her sentencing and whatnot. So then we get to see Karen exit the detention center, all right? And we see her wave to her fans. Then there's another person. She's like, who's this? And she notices that it's a reporter. So she rolls up the window. She's like, I hope I wasn't rude. But she was just like, because he's like, do you have a message for your fans? And she's like, that's the message. And she rolls up her window. That's the message. So Karen gets home. What did you guys think of Karen's look? She had the braid. She had the scarf on. She had very big jeans on. She looked good. She looked healthy. So, Karen's daughter was there. So was Ray and her sister. Karen and her sister are like spitting image of each other. Except Karen's sister, she doesn't do the wigs and the makeup and things like that. But that's what I think Karen would look like without her wig and her makeup and stuff like that. All right. So they're there. Ray's gotten her beautiful flowers. He even printed out a welcome home situation, okay? So as soon as Raven sees her mom, she runs to her mom to give her mom a hug, okay? All right, Ray gives her a hug. Her sister gives her a hug. And she goes to sit down with them to talk about, because here's the thing. Karen knows what she's doing. Karen has been on reality television for 10 years now. So she also understands that she's coming into, like, we're filming, like cameras are on. Okay. So she immediately let's sit down. All right. So she sits down with her family and she says that before she even sits down, she tells them that the ladies took out their extensions and they put together the braids. They wanted to give her jailhouse braids. That's part of the reason why she was wearing the scarf, because it didn't look the best. So all you saw were the braids below. And apparently they used their own extensions to do the braids. So Raven was like, they used their own braids? She's like, yeah, girl, we're in jail. I'm about to say, where do you get hair from? Like they couldn't get hair from the commissary? Just I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't want to know how it works. You guys, if you've ever been to jail, you'll let me know. But okay. All right. So she mentions that. All right. Karen looks to Raven when they sit down and says that she's proud of the woman that Raven has become, and that she's happy that Raven saw her like this. Okay. And I understood that, because it's sort of like, learn from my mistakes. Don't make the mistakes that your mother has made at 60 years old. Okay. She said her and Ray will have their own conversation later, she says, but she said that they dated while she was in jail. Okay. And he was the only husband that would come up there and they would talk politics. And he was like, well, you asked me about it. She wanted to get her mind probably off of things. So apparently Ray was going up there and things like that. I'm glad that they were able to kind of keep this under wraps, because we never heard or saw any of that happening. So Karen said that there were a lot of young women there, and she took on sort of like the mentor role, which I'm not surprised, because this is what people have said of her on the show. So she sort of came into the jailhouse wanting to be a mentor and help these girls. And she says she looked at them and said, how are you here at 20? It took me 6 decades to get here, and you're here at 20. Well, look, that doesn't land the way you think it lands, Karen. You shouldn't at 60 years old It shouldn't take you 6 decades. If anything, if you're going to make these types of mistakes, you make them when you're young and dumb. Right? Not it took me 6 decades. Damn it. No. I would hope by the time that I am 60 that I'm not thinking about jail. Okay? No. It took me 6 decades. Like, proud about it. It took me 6 decades to get here, and you're here at 20. Well, yes, because you're young and dumb and you don't have guidance. Like, where was your guidance so you didn't make it here at 60? I'm just saying. And here's the downside of this. These young ladies at 20, unfortunately, it's like this cycle. You go to jail at this age, and then it's just like the in and the out kind of thing. So hopefully they did learn something from Karen, because I do think that there is a knowledge there that Karen can provide, because Karen does admit during this one-on-one with Andy Cohen that she does have an addiction. Okay. It does seem like she's struggling with whether or not she is an alcoholic. And look, maybe she's not there yet. We have to remember that Karen is just admitting to having an addiction. And that's something I want to emphasize, especially for those that are in the live chat and those of you that will be watching the replay. Let's be sensitive of who we're looking at. We're looking at someone that is dealing with a disease of addiction. So there was some accountability. And this is why I said when we reviewed the trailer, I was a little disappointed in the trailer. However, I did see some accountability and excuses. But we have to remember, we're dealing with someone with an addiction, with a disease. And in this country, people with addictions are always villainized as opposed to treating it like it is the disease that it is. So that's important. I think we need to have a level of sensitivity when talking about this. Yes, we're going to call things out, but at the end of the day, Karen doesn't need to show any accountability for us. She doesn't. She needs to show accountability for herself and the journey that she's going to be on when it comes to this addiction. But we'll get there. We'll get there because there are a few things that I want to talk about that she says in this one-on-one. Okay. So Karen, this is like, are we good in regards to production and whatnot? Because she's like, I'll wash this jail off of me. I can't even imagine 60. This is probably like Diddy in jail. He's been in jail before. However, this is the longest he's been in jail, but he's in jail at 50 something years old. So whenever he gets out, if he gets out, it's probably gonna be like, you went from having this lap of luxury, everything, and then you have nothing. You're on a strict schedule. All right? You can't do whatever you want to do. You know? So I can't imagine. She's just like, I need to go take a shower in my own bath. She said she didn't see grass for 6 months. I can't even imagine. So 1 week later, Andy Cohen comes to Potomac to interview Karen. He rolls up. He comes in the evening. Did anyone, because I'm pointing out all the things that stood out to me. Did anyone get a little creeped out when Andy comes in and he shakes Ray's hand, but he kind of leans and he's just like, it's almost like sinister. But that's me. I'm not saying that he is, but it kind of gave me Joker vibes. And I was just like, because I really do feel like I'm intuitive about a lot of stuff. And we've said a thing or two about Andy Cohen. And I just felt like when he came in and he kind of came up under like to shake Ray's hand, and then there was just like this grin, and I was just like, oh, what in the? Did I see the devil? Look, I don't know. There was just something a little dark about that grin to me. But that's me. I'm not saying that it actually was, but look, it stood out to me. All right. Before we move on, guys, don't forget to like this video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the one-on-one interview with Karen Huger. It's also the season finale for The Real Housewives of Potomac. The reunion begins on February 15th. So we will not have a recap next week. Yeah, next week, because there won't be a new episode. Also, we will be recapping Married to Medicine tomorrow, just because I have another thing that I have to do after today's live. So we will recap Married to Medicine tomorrow, and we will talk about Quad and King breaking up. So stay tuned. Tomorrow afternoon, we will recap Married to Medicine, which is perfect for me because that means I can rewatch the episode and we can talk and we can really just have our own recap. And it's not like a rush to recap Married to Medicine. So that will be tomorrow. All right. Don't forget, guys, you can also hear the Kempire After Dark. The Kempire live recaps on the Kempire podcast. Okay, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Speaking of Kempire After Dark, I do want to say we have our show coming up March 13th, Friday, March 13th, at the Green Room 42. Tickets are now on sale. Not sold out yet. I haven't even checked, but I know we're not sold out yet. But there's also a live stream option. So no matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to watch the show where, yes, you might enjoy what we do here, but then we can really talk about things and spill tea, because I got some tea too over the weekend too. We can talk about that. And if you have tea to spill, that's your opportunity. Tickets are now on sale. I did want to announce that, unfortunately, the Brooke Ashley will not be our host this time around just because of scheduling conflicts. But we love our Brooke Ashley, and she's hosted for us 4 times before. 1 time for Brooke. 4 times before. However, we've done our recaps with Brooke Ashley and Taria Faizan. Taria Faizan, who has also hosted our DC shows, I think 3 times. So 1 time for Taria. Or Trina, as we like to call her. Trina, a.k.a. Taria, from the What Else Is Going On podcast, will be our MC, our hostess with the mostest for this New York City show. So show love to her. She will be our host. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys. Again, meet and greets are available. Live stream tickets are available. Go get your tickets today. Ticket information will be available in the description, along with everything else, including my t-shirt. The Kempire After Dark Villain Era Tour. The tour dates are on the back. Yes, go get your tickets today for that. All right. Tamika, thank you so much for the super chat. Tamika says, what do you think of D'Angelo Roberta Flack tribute that Lauryn Hill did? Tamika, you may have missed it, or maybe you sent this before I spoke about it. But yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Latanya, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Latanya says, my favorite was Duran Bernard and his acceptance speech. Yes. Shout out to all the Butch Queens. Thank you so much, Latanya, for the super chat. Nicole, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. She says, I guess you kicked Bobby to the side now, huh? For Trevor Noah? Nicole, you've been here a long time. You know it was always Trevor Noah before Bobby. And Bobby's married. I know, it's in our head. We're being facetious, okay? But I will say this, because for our daytime talk show, it's coming. Stay tuned. My first week's guest, I already know who I want to be my first week's guest. Can we talk about it for a second? I definitely want Kelly Rowland. But if I can't get Kelly Rowland at the first season, Kelly Rowland, Brandy, because I've interviewed Brandy multiple times, she's got to be there. She's got to be there for the first week. Bobby? No, not Bobby. Trevor Noah. Come on. Y'all also let me know who you think I should have the first week, the premiere week of the Kempire Daytime Talk Show. Tamika, thank you so much for another super chat. Tamika says, am I the only one that noticed that they didn't mention Angie Stone? Well, during the tribute they did, and they showed a photo of Angie in the back. Yeah, so there was. Mr. Melnash said, wait, Kemp, are you considered a Butch Queen? I don't think so. I don't know. Am I? Y'all tell me. I don't know. Mimi says, ordered my t-shirt. Thank you, Mimi, and thank you for being a member. Thank you. So let me know who should be in the first week. Oh, Tamia, my Taurus sister, Tamia. I need her to come and sing that first week because I've interviewed her. She was my first celebrity interview, in-person interview that I've ever did backstage. That's when I first met Grant Hill. First time ever meeting Grant. Yeah. All right. Just saying. We're planning the daytime talk show. All right. So back to this. All right. So Andy comes in. The face threw me off. I don't know about anyone else. You guys will let me know. The face threw me off. So Andy goes. Oh, wait. Andy reveals that he sent a letter to Karen while she was in jail. Andy apparently sprayed Ladam on it, and they didn't believe that it was Andy Cohen. So they scanned it and they sent it to, I guess, the iPad that she had. And first of all, I was like, I mean, look, I haven't sent a jailhouse letter. I just would think that you wouldn't spray anything on it just because they might destroy it. Because what is this scent on it? You know, is this something, you know what I mean? Is this anthrax? You know what I mean? Okay. Miss Mellon Magic said Portia Williams should be my guest. Oh, DV says, yes, Trevor Noah, it's Pisces. Really? Well, then you already know how I feel about Trevor in real life. All right. I'll say. Okay, Tanya says that Andy has the face of a villain. Definitely go back and watch that part. And you all going to be like, Kempire, you were right. So he sent a letter with Ladam on it. But okay. And to Tanya, I thought the same thing. Toya says, they got iPads in prison? Apparently they do. But I guess maybe in the library or something like that. I'm always interested to know, like, how are we hearing from people from prison? But look, here we are. All right. Elizabeth says the interview was a bunch of nonsense. Karen can't control the whole interview. It makes me wonder what the unedited version looks like. You know what I mean? Okay. Adrian says, can I be the first and last Virgo on the show? Why what do you mean the last? Wait a minute. We're the last? We're never ending the show, no. All right. So he sent her a letter while she was in jail. Okay. So Andy goes into the kitchen to get water and things like that, and that's where Brandon is, her son. And he's like, you're always hiding from the cameras. And he's like, no, I'm busy. It just doesn't fit in with my schedule, which I don't mind. And apparently, Brandon was the one handling all of Karen's businesses and her money while she was in jail. And I was like, oh, like the Ladon business? The how many wick candle? The 3 wick candles? I mean, I'm sure she has other things, but apparently he was the one handling all of her business affairs while she was in jail. All right. So Karen says to Andy that she asked to be in general population. They were going to keep her separate because, she's a public figure. They were going to keep her separate, which honestly is not better because you probably feel even more isolated and alone. That can't be good. So she asked to be in general population. And so she felt like she could help the other women. And I know some of you are going to be like, help the other women. How about helping yourself? Which I could agree with. But she talked about this in the interview that right before she went to jail, she went to rehab. And she felt like, and I don't know if I believe that, but she felt like going to, 30 days rehab before going to jail helped her. Remember, during the court, the judge admonished her in regards to the rehab that she had done previously. He was like, what was this, a spa that you went to? The spa? I was like, So I didn't love the fact that she tried to make it seem like the 30 days. And sometimes it is. But the other element, which I've heard multiple times, I don't remember the statistics offhand, a lot of times you will see addicts relapse, not wishing that on her at all. But those things could happen if you're not diligent. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Beautiful photo, Tyrese. New photo, too. Tyrese says, Kemp, please interview Garcelle. Of course. I saw Garcelle was on Good Morning America, and she talked about her home being swatted. They put her in handcuffs. That's so scary. I didn't even think about that, but that is normally the protocol. But she was really happy that her sons weren't there because they would have been put in handcuffs as well. And sometimes, your reaction to stuff like that, like, we didn't do anything. Why are you putting me in handcuffs? Yeah. So that is very traumatizing. So she says she's very happy that her sons weren't there. And they put Garcelle in handcuffs. That is crazy. But Garcelle has a new movie out that came out over the weekend on Lifetime. If you haven't watched it, be sure to check it out. It's with Boris Kojo and everything like that. So congratulations to Garcelle. Garcelle has been booked and busy since she left. All right. Okay. They go into the living room. It's all set up for them to have their sit down interview. Before we even get to the interview, what did you guys think of Karen's hair, makeup, outfit? I mean, she looked healthy. The lighting, you have to remember, this is her home. The lighting wasn't great because you can kind of see like the foundation and stuff like that she had on. So I didn't really love that. But I think she looked great. She looked healthy. It's a nice little setup. I like Andy's suit. I don't know why Andy is still wearing those same shoes. And I know those shoes aren't cheap, but those shoes are wore out. Like, Andy, sir, you can afford better shoes. Shoes are not that expensive. I can't imagine that these shoes are really comfortable. But okay. I love the black suit, though. And I actually like that he grew out his hair. He looks good. Andy looks good. I can give compliments when compliments are due. I think he looks good. Okay. All right. Butch Queen. Look, shout out to the Butch Queen. Okay. All right. Oh, Ty says, hold on. Where's Ty's comment? Thank you for the super chat, Ty. Ty says, Karen's PR team is A1. Look, remember, this is 1 week later. This wasn't immediate. So I'm sure she spoke with her lawyers. She probably spoke with crisis management, her publicist, and they all decided on how this is going to be addressed and what certain terms she was going to use during the interview. Okay? Asta says that Andy's about to block me again. He's got to unblock me first. Jasmine is focused. Jasmine says, love those seats, right? Nice seats. They look super comfortable. Her home is huge. I was like, wait a minute. I know she's renting it, but still it's a huge home. All right. Let's get to the sit down. Okay, because we have things to get into, and I will be dropping the call link for you guys to share your thoughts on this one-on-one interview that Karen did for the season finale for the Real Housewives of Potomac. So, Karen opens up by saying, let's talk about the film that broke the internet. So, the footage. You know, we've talked about the footage. We recapped the footage. It was like 30 minutes. Karen at the scene of the crime. Then the Karen footage of her in the squad car. And then Karen being interrogated. And you knew when they showed that footage, they were going to include Thomas Jefferson's concubine. I already know one of these ladies that don't like Karen is going to throw that in her face. And look, Karen, you just going to have to grin and bear it, girl. I'm sure you already got a quick comeback. All right. I'm sure you already got a quick comeback because you know someone's going to do it. You know someone's going to bring it up and be like, okay, here comes Thomas Jefferson's concubine. He does ask her about that moment. Shout out to everyone watching on X. Hey, LV. LV's watching on X. She wants to be the bad guy. Buy a pink wig. Junie says, on the talk show, can I be the Q rant card person? I won't let you down. Cue the rant. You know that's got to be a part of the show, right? I'm not going to play it here because this is not Salt Lake City. We've retired it until the new season, okay? But yeah. We'll see, Junie. We'll see. Thanks for everyone watching on X. All right. So she says, you know, let's talk about the film that broke the internet. Not broke the internet. Did it really break the internet? I guess. I mean, in the Bravo world, I believe it did. No, it did. I mean, it was very embarrassing. So they show the footage from some of the footage from the arrest. As I said to you before, it's like 30 minutes. They showed from when she's like, I will not. She's like, I will not take a breathalyzer. And then she was just like, when she's getting out the squad car, I'm lit. You know, like they call me the Grande Dame when she was in the squad car. And then when she's sitting at the interrogation table, she's just like, I'm Thomas Jefferson's concubine. It felt like she had gotten drunker as the video unfolded, like it was hitting her more and more. I was like, ooh, Lord. So Karen says that she didn't watch the video until she watched it with her therapist. Okay. Karen's lawyers actually watched the video. So all of you and Ashley need to apologize to those attorneys because some of you dragged the attorneys. And I said this at the time, but you guys didn't want to listen to me. I said, there is no way that her attorneys did not advise her to take some sort of plea deal after watching that footage. Karen confirms that her attorneys told her to take a plea deal. Okay? They said the video is going to nail you. But Karen says that she was so entrenched in the addiction and she was still cloudy from the addiction that she was like, no, we want to fight this? You were still cloudy? You were cloudy all the way up until the sentencing? All the way up until... I just didn't... That part didn't make sense to me. And when she says that she also kept Ray from it, here's the thing. You can't keep Ray from it. He's in it. He's in it. He saw you. And I'm willing to bet money he saw the video too. But he was there. He was there. And I don't understand in a marriage, in a partnership, where my partner has gotten arrested for a DUI and I've come and picked you up. There ain't no way you're going to tell me that I'm not going to have a say or any involvement in the litigation. I don't believe that he didn't. Especially when you think, like, Ray is not some idiot. Ray was a former executive. He is the Black Bill Gates, okay? Ray is not dumb, okay? So you telling me you're not going to take... You might not listen to him, I can understand, but to say that you didn't involve him, it kind of reminded me of the early years where she talked about Ray's finances and what he was going through in regards to the taxes. She's like, the way she did that, very politician-like. Is that a very good... That must be a Taurus trait, because I noticed that with Quad as well.
Missed calls, slow replies, and scattered conversations aren't just annoying. They're money left on the table. Make this the year you prioritize your business communications with Quo, spelled Q-U-O. Quo gives your entire team one shared business number for calls and texts, so nothing gets lost and everyone sees the full conversation. You can keep your existing number, easily add teammates, sync your CRM, and scale as you grow. Plus, Quo's built-in AI automatically logs calls, summarizes conversations, and highlights next steps, so nothing slips through the cracks, even after hours. That's why Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by over 90,000 businesses. Make this the year where no opportunity slips away. Try Quo for free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/tryquo. That's QUO.com/tryquo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making millions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/hidden. Protect yourself now at aura.com/hidden.
So, when I ask, what is Odoo? What comes to mind? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But some people also say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. I mean, whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, I guess Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it. Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Kara here from The Kara Golden Show. If you're not using Ironclad for contracts, you could be leaving millions on the table. Ironclad's AI instantly surfaces what matters: renewal dates, pricing terms, and obligations, so you can act quickly before opportunities slip away. That's why they're trusted by great brands like OpenAI, L'Oreal, Salesforce, and so many others. Find the savings hiding in your contracts at ironcladapp.com/podcast. That's ironcladapp.com/podcast.
I do know as a Taurus, we talk astrological signs if you're new here. As a Taurus, we're very guarded. We're not going to show you everything. So I'm not surprised that she's very calculated in how she's depicted on this show and in this interview. I'm not surprised at all. No. But I don't believe, Toya says, I think Ray is submissive to Karen. It's one thing to be submissive and there's another thing to be dumb. Right? Because we talked about this before when we talk about women being submissive to their husband, but you're not dumb. You're not. If you do know when to be like, no, I need to be able to step up and do stuff. You know what I mean? N1, thank you for being a member. N1 says, I smell a season 11 storyline. Oh, there's definitely a season 11 storyline coming. Their marriage troubles. She talked about how he's okay if she decides, because she's a different person after jail and being clear, which I understand. He's okay if she decides to leave him, because he's probably ready to move to Florida. Remember, you always wanted to move to Florida. Okay? So he's probably ready. And he's probably tired of picking her up drunk. I have to call a thing here. If Iyanla was here, because she talked about 20 years ago that he was picking her up from that place and she was drunk. And then we see in the footage 20 years later him doing the same thing. Come on now. All right? Jasmine says that Ray just wants a condo in Florida. All right. So, Karen, they showed the footage. They made sure to keep the Thomas Jefferson concubine in there. Okay. Karen says that she ended up watching the video footage with her therapist. All right. She says her lawyers did tell her that this video is going to nail her. You should take a plea deal. And it makes me wonder what the plea deal would have been. You know what I mean? Karen says, and honestly, it's good that she didn't take a plea deal, because it probably would have been very, very lax in regards to, she probably would be able to still drive. You know what I mean? Like, no, maybe it's good that she went there. Not maybe, it was a good thing. This was her fourth, okay, we're going to get to that. This was her fourth alcohol-related arrest. I'm just going to call it that, because she said it's not her fourth DUI. Okay, are we playing semantics here? Okay, fine. So Karen says that she was cloudy from alcohol and pills. She said that she didn't allow Ray to watch the film. She denies that she was offered any plea deal. Because you remember Giselle said that there was some sort of plea deal, that she heard that there may have been some plea deal. She says that there wasn't. I was like, okay. So there was no plea deal on the table. So Karen says she understood the sentence after watching the video. And Andy was just like, but the sentencing happened after. And then it's like that part didn't necessarily make sense. So Karen says that that this was preventable. Okay. But she doesn't, she's like, but she said, don't underestimate the power of the drink and pills. She said the drink. All right. In regards to the Thomas Jefferson concubine element, she says, I was nuts. She was out of her mind at the time. I was like, oh. Okay, at least you can admit that. There was definitely some accountability in this one-on-one. Okay? And look, I have to remind you, for those that are just joining us, I said this at the top of this one-on-one. We got to give her some grace here. We're dealing with someone with a disease. Addiction is a disease. So the fact that she's even able to admit that she has an issue with pills, that's one step. But she says she's living a sober life. So she's not drinking, and she's not, I'm not sure she's not doing the pills anymore either, because the pills were a prescription to help her deal with depression and anxiety and the SA that she dealt with from 19. Okay. So she says that she was nuts when she said the Thomas Jefferson concubine comment, all right? She says that she doesn't drink anymore. She's sober. She says that her kids 20 years ago noticed that she had a problem and told her 20 years ago that she had a problem. 20 years ago. Karen then went on to talk about the prescription and how she ended up getting this prescription, okay? And it's an antidepressant. And she says she kept on upping the dosage. I guess she was making that, decision on her own and not including her doctor. And she ended up getting that prescription after her, I believe it was after her parents passed. Oh, no, she upped it after her parents passed away. But she did talk about the assault that she had went through when she was 19. And I was like, oh, I forgot about her essay. And I don't think that she ever dealt with that. And honestly, that made more sense to me when she talked about that, because so many people, especially within the Black community, when these things happen and people not believing her and everyone reacts differently to trauma. Some people, they turn that trauma into something big and beautiful. And she even talked about that. She pushed through a lot of her life and she was able to achieve certain things in life despite that. But she never healed. Remember we were talking about this when we were talking about Beverly Hills and we were talking about money. We were talking about Amanda and Amanda dealing with the whole, you got to deal with your issues with money before you actually start doing the practical things with money. This goes back with what we were talking about with Karen. She never healed the trauma that she experienced when she was SA'd. And people not believing her. This is why I say you guys got to be mindful of what you say on social media when people are talking about something that happened to them. Because that just compounds the trauma. And then if you're not dealing with the trauma, people find ways of dealing with the trauma. Healthy ways would be going and seeing a therapist, but not everyone is going to do that because you also have friends and family saying it never happened. Or maybe you did something. So now they're like, I can't go to a therapist. Go to a therapist. Get a third party that is not your friend or family. And that process is going to be a process too. Your first therapist might not be the one. Usually it isn't. So it's a whole process that you have to kind of go through to find the right therapist for you. And please do not have guilt about ending your therapy with someone that's not working for you. You are the life manager of your life. If the therapist that you've gone to is not working for you, fire them. They'll be okay. You're paying them. Or, someone's paying them. Your insurance is paying. Find the person where you feel like you can be comfortable with. And the minute it stops being comfortable with that person, find you a new one. Find you a new one. So back to this. So Karen talks about taking an antidepressant, but she will not say which one. And Andy's confused. Like, why can't you say which one? Because she's like, I could be sued. And look, again, that just to me stood out as her lawyers and her PR team were like, yeah, you can't mention it. Maybe because they don't want to mention the fact that she mixed it or that this could have been the cause of why she got into a crash kind of thing. So I'm going to give her grace on that one in regards to not talking about the pills that she might have been on. I know some people are probably speculating it's not an antidepressant. It was something else. I don't know, but we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. So Karen says that she didn't, she says that the drink didn't, she said the drink didn't call her. She said she was running from home. So she's setting us up here in this conversation to tell us that some of what was going on, why she did not want to be at home, why she was unhappy, why she was drinking, why she was upping her pills. And it's because of issues with Ray, which she's talked about on the show before, but we didn't think that there were any issues now. But apparently she says that she was running from home. She says that she doesn't normally drink and drive, so she must have been really out of it. She says she doesn't normally drink and drive. So Andy's like, but you have 4 DUIs. She's like, let's be clear. Let's be clear. I do not have 4 DUIs. I have 2. There were other alcohol-related incidents. And I'm like, we're playing semantics here. You even admitted on camera in season 9 that you got behind the wheel when you were drinking. Remember? She talked about that when she was hanging out with Mia and things like that. And then she got into the car. So just want to say that, okay? All right. So she said she did some volunteer work in jail, okay? And that's what lessened her sentence. Didn't somebody say that was impossible? Anyway, but apparently it is because she came out 6 months earlier. So Andy was a little confused. Like, how are you able to help other people when you are, how are you heading up the NA classes and the AA classes when you are dealing with that stuff? I wasn't surprised at that, but I was a little surprised at her answer because she made it seem as if her 30 days in rehab before going to jail sort of made her like a guru. And I was like, no. I wouldn't do that. But I could see her being involved because we talked about that's how Jen Shaw got out of jail early as well. So Karen says that, doing some of that volunteer work lessened her sentence by 6 months. But I didn't think she was going to serve the full sentence anyway. Okay? RC says, Andy saying that made me crack up. Okay. I mean, I'm glad he said it. Because you guys would be asking the same question, right? So Karen says that she worked on her marriage while she was in jail. Okay. She says that she shut down at 19 after her essay. So she feels like that is the trigger point for her in regards to her abuse of the pills and the alcohol. And she even talked about, her parents. That's when she upped her meds and things like that as well. She does take more accountability, it feels, for the pills than the alcohol. And Andy tries to kind of peel back the layers on that. She's like, it seems like you're willing to say that you are addicted to the pills, but you're not willing to say that you're an alcoholic. And she says that it's hard. It was also hard for her therapist to convince her that she had a drinking problem in therapy, which I find to be interesting. If you're so willing to admit that you have an issue with pills that were prescribed to you, but I guess her making the decision to drink is harder for her to admit that she made herself. Maybe she can put the blame on the therapist prescribing versus taking the blame for actually drinking. But again, we have to remember, this is a woman that is just in the midst. How long is she sober at this particular point? She wasn't even in jail a full year. So, and I'm questioning how long she actually was sober. Maybe now she's almost a year sober, but I'm questioning the fact that she was sober because when Andy asked, when was the last time that you had a drink? Did you guys pay attention to her answer? She says, after the accident. After the accident can be whenever. Like, after the accident, well, right before rehab? You know what I mean? I had to roll back the tape. I was like, wait, after the accident, that could be you were out of jail for months. I mean, when exactly did you stop drinking? Was it right before jail? When was your last drink? Just asking. It stood out to me, her response in regards to that. Okay. So she refuses to say that she's an alcoholic. She says that she's a person in a lifetime recovery. That's how she refers to herself. So a lifetime recovery meaning that it seems like she will never drink again, never take pills or anything like that again. She said the last time that she had to drink again was after my accident because she says she's dealing with both alcohol and drugs. So that's why she says that she's in a lifetime of recovery. All right. She does go to meetings for addictions, but she does prefer the NA meetings than the AA meetings, which is interesting. I've never been to either one, so I don't know what the difference might be. If you have and you want to share, feel free to call in and share. I will be taking callers, guys, in a moment. Karen also talks about what she wore in jail. So Andy was like, was it like an orange jumpsuit? And she was like, no, it's beige, and I will not be wearing beige probably for a while. And he's like, well, you're wearing beige now. She's like, it's plush. Oh, Okay. All right. All right, guys. Before we get to life in jail with Karen, we're going to say thank you. We had a couple of super chats. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, please interview Garcelle. Thank you, Ty. We read these already. Thank you. Jamie, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Jamie says, you should have Lisa Barlow on as a guest just to play her rant for her. Maybe. I don't know about the first week, though. Like, my first week has to be special. Poor Lisa Barlow. I'm not special. Lucy Law, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Lucy says, I'm sorry, I believe Karen was lying about not seeing the video. I mean, did she really need to see the video? She was there. I don't think she was blackout drunk. Maybe eventually. She didn't remember everything. Millie, I think she can't come to the terms to say that, yeah, I made stupid decisions. I saw that video and I still fought this case. It was a stupid decision. That's the thing about some Tauruses. We're so stubborn. We're always right. But I have a new term, less than right. Ooh. Yes, less than right. Not wrong. Less than right. Karen, you should have did that. You know what? I was less than right when I decided to fight this case. Millie, thank you so much for the super chat. Millie says, I feel for Karen. Acceptance isn't binary. Someone can know something is wrong, but still struggle to fully accept what that means for their identity. Millie, perfect way of saying that. She's still in the middle of addiction. She might be sober, but, she's still, there's the psychology of the addiction too. GC, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. GC says, I'm glad you said that. My former therapist tried to make me feel bad when I said I was replaced. SKU? I think that's important to know, guys. If you're with a therapist and you don't feel comfortable, you have every right to change your therapist. You have to feel comfortable in that space. You're just traumatizing yourself for no reason. Like, you should not be going to therapy being traumatized. Ariana, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Ariana says, super busy work day, but I think Karen is setting her going back to liquor in a few seasons. Oh, you think that she doesn't want to say she's an alcoholic so that she can drink in a couple of seasons. Not copping to being an alcoholic is strange now. I mean, yeah, maybe. We were just talking about this with Mary J. Blige. Remember, Mary J. Blige admitted to having a drug problem, but she said she can still drink. And I thought she had stopped drinking because she realized that she couldn't do both. But I don't know. Apparently, she's back to drinking. I don't know. But all right. All right, guys, keep liking the video. If you haven't already, we have already almost 2,500 of you watching on YouTube. And shout out to those of you watching on Facebook as well. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TheKempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. And shout out to those of you watching on X. We see you guys as well. Let's get into our sponsor today. Don't forget, literally, it's less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, you have a Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is literally 2 weeks away. Have you gotten your roses yet for the person that you love? And if you haven't, this is your reminder. You probably didn't even realize that Valentine's Day was right around the corner. You were probably ignoring all the Valentine's Day merch and things like that just literally came out while it was still the holidays. Well, I'm here to remind you. We have partnered with our friends over at Rose Forever yet again. This is probably our umpteenth year of working with them. And these roses that I'm holding in my hand are from a year ago. And I wish you could smell this through the screen. They still smell like roses, and they are. These are real roses that will last you up to a year. Our friends over at Rose Forever don't just sell roses, though. You can get roses, you can get hydrangeas, but also for those that want other roses other than red, even though it's traditional, maybe you want purple, maybe you want pink, maybe you want white, maybe you want blue. There are colors for you. But now Rose Forever also has candles and delicious, big, huge candles. And we're back. Look how, in comparison to my head, look how big this candle is. And there's so many delicious flavors for you. So if there's something that you wanted to get for yourself or someone you love or just someone you appreciate and you were thinking of an idea of something that is actually long lasting, get you something from Rose Forever. And of course, we've gotten you covered with a discount. Be sure to check out our discount code and our special link available in the description. Time is running out. Literally, after this week, there will only be 2 weeks, and you want to keep enough time for delivery. And delivery is really good with our friends over at Rose Forever as well. Get your Rose Forever, something that will last you and something that people will look back at and like, oh, I remember the person that got me that. And they got me that last year. It's still beautiful. It's still luxurious. Get you something today. More information, again, will be available in the description along with your discount. Thanks to Rose Forever. Look how luscious they look behind me here in the studio. That could be you. That could be your home. I have the big round one that I just showed you guys in the video. That's now at my foyer, right in the foyer. So you come in, you smell beautiful roses, big, beautiful red roses. As I said to you before, there's all kinds of colors. So be sure to check that out. All right. I do want to highlight what Patricia said. Patricia says, I don't think people are looking for perfection. They are looking for honesty. We would respect Karen more if she just admitted that she struggles with alcohol. But at the end of the day, it's not for us. That's for her. She's got to come to that conclusion. But here's the thing, too, because I remember when we did the trailer, there was someone in the comments saying we should mind our business. Well, you're doing a one-on-one interview to the world. Okay? So everyone's going to have an opinion. I'm just telling we should be somewhat sensitive because we're talking about someone that has finally, because look, some people said that we weren't as sensitive when she was initially arrested and convicted and sent to prison. However, at that particular point, she had not admitted to any sort of addiction. And if anything, we were holding her accountable because you really could have taken someone's life. Thankfully, you didn't, but you could have, especially this being the fourth time around with an alcohol-related arrest. Demi, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Demi says, I think this is a very layered thing. It's only been 6 months. She's been drinking irresponsibly for decades. Let's give a smidgen of grace. Exactly. Thank you, Demi. All right, guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I will drop the call link for the general audience as well. But if you're on Twitch or if you are a Royal Court or Senior Royal member here on YouTube, I've already dropped the call link for you guys as well. Everyone will get 30 seconds to share their thoughts. All right. And Team Kempire members, I'll drop the call link for you guys in just a moment. I still have more that I want to share in regards to this sit down. So inside the jail, what was life for Karen inside the jail? She sits down with Andy Cohen to talk a little bit about that and what the schedule was like. Apparently, they were getting up early. Look, as a tourist, we like a schedule, so an organization. So I can see why she liked it. She says. So Andy asked Karen about what she missed the most, and she said she missed holding Raven's hand. She said she's very close with Raven. He also asked Karen about being stripped down to her natural self. Karen thought it was the strip search, like when you first go into prison. She's like, I had on my, black lace bra and panties. I was like, he's like, no, I kind of meant metaphorically. Yeah, metaphorically, he meant. And she said she was just happy to get the lashes off. She was wearing her natural hair. She saw some of the pepper, like the white and gray that she was getting. And she says, when it comes time, she's going to go all white. I can see that. Karen, you could go all white now. It would look beautiful on Karen. You know what I mean? And she is a woman of a particular age. Why not? Right? So she says that she was happy to take all of that stuff off. Okay. She says that she did have her own room in jail. Okay. She talked about, she went to, I'm sure they were probably laughing in their heads. Karen went to them and she's just like, yes, I still get my monthlies and I need a lot of those maxi pads. So she wanted to put the maxi pads on the rim of the toilet so that she could sit on that. I was like, here you go, Karen. Here you go, Karen. Okay, Karen's going to be Karen no matter where she is, jail or not, right? So she talked about how the day started. This day would start at 4:30. They would have breakfast at 5 a.m. She talked about the food. She said the food wasn't good. She referred to it as astronaut food. She said they had crab. Y'all got crab in jail? She said they had chicken. And he was like, you ate the dirty bird? She's like, I did not eat the dirty bird. I told you I had crab meat. But you also mentioned the dirty bird. Okay. All right. So, Andy talked about her going outside and things like that. She's like, I didn't go outside. She's like, I didn't see grass for 6 months. Oh, damn. That's depressing. And the things that we take for granted. So when you see grass today, you look down and well, if you're in New York, you ain't gonna see no grass. You're gonna see snow. But take it in. Like, take in the snow. Take in the snow. Okay? And then she says they would have dinner at 4:30, and then lights would be out at 9:45. Okay? Here, dear Yvette says, no, Kempire, she can't go salt and pepper. She still wants a YN. You think she wants a young man? Blue Eyes, was Blue Eyes a YN? I don't know. I don't think she wants a YN. Like, I really wonder who her type is. I wonder. All right. Andy says, he brings up the reunion and her confronting the ladies and interacting with the ladies, because at this particular point, they probably hadn't decided whether or not she would attend the reunion. Because remember, this was like a week after her release. And she says she would be fine at the reunion. She wants to go to the reunion. She gets paid to go to the reunion. She didn't get paid for this last season. She's getting paid for this sit down, I'm sure. And she's like, I'll be fine at the reunion. The reunions are always what they are. So this segues into a season 9 reunion recap. So Andy brings the laptop over to show Karen some of the moments at the reunion where the women had thoughts about her. Okay? So Ashley revealed that a journalist that she had spoken to revealed that possibly someone might have been in the car. And then they show the footage where she sort of says that someone, that security that you hired for me. And then Ray's just like, wait, he was here? So there was speculation that there may have been someone that was there in the car with her and that maybe ran off. Maybe? Well, according to Karen, that wasn't true. That wasn't true. Also at the reunion, Ashley and Wendy brought up that they had heard stories from other people about Karen's drinking. Ashley brought up a story where she would drink at this particular restaurant and she would get drunk all the time. And Wendy says, well, because initially she was not going to say anything. And she's like, well, since Ashley said that, someone told me at this particular restaurant, Karen would come every day and get drunk. Karen is still going to be Karen. So when they show that part, Karen says, who would talk to Wendy? Because she lives in Timbuktu. Karen is going to Karen all the time. I said, what? Karen? She lives in Timbuktu. Even Andy got tickled. He was like, and there goes Karen. There goes my girl. There goes my girls. Who's going to tell her anything? She lives in Timbuktu. That's what we missed from this season. A Karen Reed. Who is telling Wendy anything? She lives in Timbuktu. I'm sorry. That sent me. Look, that sent me. And I was like, well, bring her back. Bring her back. I was like, that was hilarious. In one moment, she just obliterated Wendy. Okay? Karen says that Ashley was correct, though. So it feels like she wants to own the fact that she was drinking 20 years ago, but that now it might not be the same issue. So that's where she kind of loses me, though, in regards to the accountability of it all. It's sort of like, you're willing to own that 20 years ago you were drinking like that, but you're not willing to own that it might have been still a problem. You know what I mean? T-Talk with Shah says, where is the lie? I mean, yes, she lives in a whole other part. She lives the furthest from anyone, right? So, yeah. So Karen says that Ashley was correct, but that was like 20 years ago. She denies that anyone else was in the car. Karen says that she isn't angry at the ladies and what they said during this reunion. She's not angry at them drawing their own conclusions. Wendy they flash back to show Wendy at the season 9 reunion when Karen thanks everyone but Wendy. And Wendy says, that's not my friend. You remember what she said? She's like, that's not my friend. Okay. And Karen, this was another moment. If you're not paying attention, you would have missed this. When Wendy talks about Karen not being her friend and not thanking her in that video, Karen during the video is like, oh, wait. Not aw. She might as well have did the woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. That would have been me. That would have been me. If someone would say, I'd be like, oh, woo, woo, woo. Oh, Wendy. That would have been me. But she's like, oh, damn, Karen. All right. So Karen says that that there needs to be a combo, and any combo, because he asked Karen about, what's your issue with Wendy? Like, what's going on with you and Wendy? And she's like, well, that's a combo for Wendy and I to have. No, that was a combo for you and Wendy to have in season 9, not now. I mean, yes, now, because now you're out, but you could have at least alluded. So I don't know. I still felt for Wendy from season 9 reunion because it felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, what's the issue between Karen and Wendy? I'm not understanding. And why wouldn't you thank her? Especially when she said that she's actually reached out to you during this ordeal that you were going through. But maybe she didn't. So I'm sure this is sort of a segue coming into what we can expect for season 11. That there will be issues between Wendy and Karen. And if you saw the season 10 reunion trailer, Karen basically tells Wendy to shut the F up, stop talking. Because apparently during the reunion, Wendy's acting like nothing, like she didn't do anything wrong, and she's talking and having a good time. Like, they're saying like her body language is not giving like, girl, you're facing possibly 15 years in prison. Hey, Crocodile. Crocodile said, hi, Camp. Watching you on Twitch is an experience. Yeah, they say I'm streaming in 4K. They say on Twitch the sound and the video quality is top tier. So go, make sure you follow us on Twitch, guys. Twitch.tv/TheKempire. Thank you, Crocodile, for watching there as well. Crocodile Retha, is that what is it that says? Let me take a sip, y'all. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she says that's a conversation for her and Wendy to have. Karen knows what she's doing. She's segueing us for season 11, or for at least the reunion. All right. So Karen says that she did feel supported by the women. She said, Giselle did a really good job as well. I was like, oh, okay. In regards to Wendy, Karen says Wendy knows why I didn't mention her. Well, can you let us know? Okay, can you let us know? All right. But Karen says she felt supported by the women. She said Giselle really did a good job. Karen says that Wendy's the only person that didn't call her. You didn't thank me in your message. I'm not calling you. In all fairness, all do, as Andy would say, all do. Let's be clear, Karen. You didn't thank me in that message. You could have thanked me in that message. I don't know what went down. I need to wait and hear. But all do, Karen. Let's be clear. Okay? Let's talk about it. Look, let's talk about it. No, I'm not calling you if you didn't thank me in your goodbye message. I'm not calling you. Let's be clear. Well, once we talk about it, and then, then we can. Then I'll call you. Danielle says Karen can definitely hold on to a grudge. That's also a Taurus trait, too. We can. But look, I'm willing to hear what the actual issue is. But if it's very much like what Kiarna's given, you can keep it. Karen. It better be something actually that like, oh, well, now I understand. I understand what the issue is. But let's be clear, Karen. Let's talk about it. If you're not going to thank me in your goodbye message to everyone, if you're thanking everyone under the sun, including Andy Cohen, you're not going to hear from me. But according to Wendy, during the after show, she said that she did reach out to Karen before she went into jail, but she hadn't spoken to her after. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. All right. So Andy brings up that there are some fans that believe that Karen should not be on this show. I have never said that I don't believe that Karen shouldn't be on this show. What I've said is I'm not sure that this is a good place for Karen to be in regards to dealing with her addiction. Very much like what I've been saying about Katie Roast and Katie Roast being back on the show. So many of you want her to come back. And I said, no, she's in the middle of an addiction. She literally just had a relapse the other day. So this is not the environment for someone that's dealing with addiction. Karen says that she believes that she deserves a second chance, okay? And that she doesn't know, she says she doesn't know if she deserves a second chance, okay? She says only time can tell in regards to proving herself. She says that the show saved her because Andy was just like, do you think that the show was not good for your addiction? Andy had to ask this question because it was said in the court docs that she basically blamed being a leader of Real Housewives of Potomac as part of the reason why she upped her meds, why she was drinking, why she was stressed. Okay? Karen is now saying that the show saved her. Okay, she says that she probably would have spiraled a lot quicker if she hadn't been on the show. She says that she has the disease of alcoholism. She's not going to say that she's an alcoholic, but she did say in this particular part that she has the disease of alcoholism. If you have the disease of alcoholism, doesn't that make you an alcoholic? Look, she's going to have to get there on her own. I'm not going to tell her when she should say it. But the fact that she's able to say, I have the disease of alcoholism, says to me that you are an alcoholic. Nothing wrong with that. But it sounds like that's what you're saying. Karen says that she's not the same person and she's better for it, which leads to the conversation about Ray. Because she's just like, even when she is interacting with Ray now, she's not the same Karen that he married. And Ray did tell her that he could let Karen go if at the end of this, that's what they decide. He could let her go. And he would move to Florida and probably live his best life and play golf and do all the things. I wouldn't be shocked. So a lot of people are speculating, including us, that maybe this is the segue for their storyline for season 11 in regards to their marriage troubles. Wouldn't be surprised that she files for divorce. And I wouldn't be surprised that they would be very amicable in regards to it, which would be nice. They were married for a very long time. And then she could live her best life. But it seems as if some of what she's blaming the issues that she's been having when it comes to alcohol and the pills was being in an unhappy marriage and being unhappy. I heard the most amazing thing. I was at group meditation yesterday, so I want to share with you guys. It stood out to me. I was like, I had an aha moment because the instructor was talking about how oftentimes we are chasing happy, and happy isn't something that necessarily is attainable like every moment of your life. So when you're just content, we should celebrate contentment versus happy, because happy seems to like sometimes when we have our moments, you're really happy. That is not realistic in life in regards to always being happy. But content, you can always be content. So I had an aha moment. I was like, you know what? Okay, so I think that's something important that someone dealing with what Karen's dealing with should consider. Exactly. This is Whistledown on Twitch. Havens Whistledown says, happiness is fleeting. But I think our society has normalized that where we should be chasing happiness. But no. Yeah. All right. What else happens at the end of this? She says her and Ray are a work in progress. That's what she says about the relationship. He does say that it's nice to see that Karen is out of denial because he feels like she's finally accepting that, especially in season 9, he felt like she was in a state of denial. And he finally feels like she's showing some sort of accountability and that she's not denying her issues. I know a lot of people have been dragging this interview on social media. I implore you guys to be a little sensitive. I think people still do not treat drugs and alcohol as a disease, but it's real. And she is, this is what, how many years of pills and alcohol, and she's going to get there, hopefully, by the grace of God. She's going to get there. And thank God no one was harmed. She did mention that, she's grateful that no one was harmed by her decision to get behind the wheel. I definitely see where people feel what they feel in regards to how she was very calculated in what she says in this interview. But like I said, I am also happy that there was some accountability in this interview, in this one-on-one. Okay. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Once we get there, we'll drop the call-in link for the general. Let's get to 1,200 likes. Let's get to 1,200 likes. I'm a little too generous with we already have probably a long line. As a matter of fact, let me drop the call link for all members. All members, I've dropped the call link, but we already have quite a few people backstage that are Royal Court and senior royals as well. But I just dropped the call link for everyone that wants to call in and share their thoughts on the one-on-one interview with Karen Huger. For those that are used to our Married to Medicine recaps happening today, we will be rescheduling it for tomorrow. The link is now available, so you can set your reminders for it. But I have some things I got to take care of this afternoon. But this is your opportunity to set your reminder for tomorrow afternoon. I think it's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern that we will be recapping Married to Medicine. And we will be talking about Quad and King officially breaking up. We can talk more about that tomorrow. Okay? So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much, Regina, for the super chat. Regina, a beautiful smile, Regina. Thank you so much for the super chat. Regina says she actually said during the interview that it was difficult to say that she was an alcoholic because it was her decision to drink, but the pills were prescribed by a doctor. We talked about that, Regina. I don't know if you missed when I mentioned that particular part, but we did talk about that, and then that made me kind of think: is it because the prescription pills are prescribed by a doctor, so she can kind of blame the doctor for being addicted to it? So look, at the end of this interview, she says she's suffering from the disease of alcoholism. To me, that's one step closer to her saying that she has a problem. GC, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. GC says, I worked in classifications. All inmates get time off going to drug and alcohol class, not for being a leader. Lies. Steel toilets are cold, thus the pads. I can imagine. I mean, can't we just get something? Look, just get us padded something. But apparently she figured out a way to do it. Thank you, GC, for the clarification. Miss Melon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Miss Melon says, I think Wendy aired her out during the season 9 sit down from the trailer that was edited out. I think Pam spilled Curran's tea and Curran is pissed at her. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Listen, happy Black History Month, though, guys. For those that are just joining us, we are recapping the Karen Huger 101 sit down with Andy Cohen. You can also hear our recaps and special episodes on the Kempire podcast. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. All right. All right, members, I've dropped the call link for you guys who just hit over 1,000 likes as well. Yes, happy Black History Month, guys. Here go Danielle. She says justice for Ray. You know, Danielle always gonna come in here with justice for somebody. She said justice for Ray. I will say this. This is probably the one time I agree with Danielle. Anyone else? Ray showing up, getting out of his bed, his wife is drunk, and God only knows how many times he's gone to pick her up drunk from someplace. Especially in this day and age when you can just call an Uber. So, look, maybe we should do this. One time for Ray. Yeah. Well, maybe not for Ray.
A little baby child. Good job, Gregory. You did a great job.
I didn't realize how relevant that was for Ray. Look, I didn't realize how relevant. That's his theme song right now. That's his theme song. Come on now, Ray. Hey, Kylo. Kylo says accountability takes different forms. I think people were expecting an episode of intervention. Karen was never going to give that. Just look at how she always presented herself. I agree, Kylo. I think people did expect something different than what Karen normally projects. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right. Let me drop the call because I don't have time to wait on you guys to like the video. Keep liking the video. I don't know why you're here if you're not going to like the video. Okay? But shout out to the almost 2,500 of you watching on multiple platforms. Okay? Let me bring up our members first. And please keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged. Okay? I will bring up O'Shea first. O'Shea, what did you want to share?
Hello. Andy does not have the skill set to do these types of interviews.
Oh.
When serious topics come up, I know we've said it at union stuff, he really doesn't have the skill set to do this type of stuff. His thing is like, here's the talking cactus, let's ask the questions, and this is not the format for him. And Karen, someone who has a problem for decades, wasn't going to miraculously show up and now be, reformed.
Yeah.
She did what she did. I actually expected less than what we got from her. I think this is like starting steps, and it is what it is. She's 60 and has had a problem for how many decades? Like after a couple of months, she wasn't going to now be, Miss Reformer.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thanks, Empire.
Thanks, O'Shea. All right. Let's bring up Sunshine Forever. Sunshine Forever, what did you want to share about Karen Huger's one-on-one interview?
The thing, hey, Kempire, how you doing today?
I'm well, how are you?
The thing with Karen is you have to admit that you have a problem in order to be in recovery. When you go to these meetings, you can't go to the meetings and say, my name is Karen Huger. You have to say what you're there for. And if you're not addressing this, and your kids told you this a long time ago, and you haven't taken note, and even on the show, they was calling Karen alcoholic. Cherie said it. Giselle said, I missed the 2 o'clock phone call when she's drunk. She sat down there in Monique's basement and drunk that Fireball. The next day, she was sick as heck. So, and I don't know what pills that she's on, so I'm not going to speculate. But I know if she was having those type of symptoms of what's going on and she was depressed and all that, mostly they probably gave her like Valium or Xanax. But then Karen had a lot of plastic surgery, so it could have been the pain pill. So we don't know because she didn't name it all.
Yeah.
So I'm not, that's alleged. I'm just saying the things that was out there.
Yeah.
But yes, but she got to take stock and understand, Karen, you have a problem. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's the only way you're going to get healed once you admit that you got the problem, and that's how you deal with it. Yeah. And people going to rehab back and forth, if it's in their brain that they're going to still do that, the rehab is not going to work. What's going to work is putting it to yourself, letting yourself know, this is what I'm here for. I'm working on myself. This is it. Because I've seen plenty of people go back and forth to rehab and they get out and do the same thing. So if they're not willing to accept what's going on, they're never going to get healed. Yeah. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Sunshine. All right. Yeah. I mean, she said antidepressants, but that made me kind of think like, was it antidepressants? Was it something else? But maybe she's saving that. Again, very calculated. Maybe she's saving that for season 11. Maybe she's going to save the whole I'm an alcoholic for season 11. Who knows? Again, remember this interview happened 1 week after her release. All right. Noda Queen's backstage. Noda Queen, what did you want to share?
Well, Kempire, let's be clear. I work at a very male-centered job, and I came into work one day last month, and they're like, did you see that housewife police video where she was all drunk? And yeah, so I think it's extended past Bravoverse. I would say that. Okay. But also, I agree with the sinister look from Andy, and I think that's just like the whole vibe of the entire interview. I'm going to get on my horse, but I'm not going to get too high because I still watched it. But fact that they interviewed this lady a week after she got out of jail for doing something dangerous for an addiction, it's only sinister. They don't care about parents' healing. They don't care about her accountability. They care about those ratings for this lackluster season and prime her for the next season. That's all. So, yeah, that's why the interview was conducted the way it was. That's why we're not going to get accountability out of Karen. It's not time yet. She needs more time. That's all. Yeah. I expect that from her right now, but they're not going to give her that time because they don't care about her like that.
Thank you, Noda Queen.
Have a good one.
You too. Good point. Good point. Like they're more interested in their dollars, and using this as a way for people to watch. They're probably going to have their highest ratings for this season from this episode. Maybe for the series. We shall see. I'll report back later this week. All right, Tyler's backstage. You're going to bring Tyler up next. Tyler, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
Is it wrong that the way she was saying prescription was annoying me? Prescription.
Well,
I was getting
vaccination. Remember vaccination?
It was just making me mad because she kept saying prescription.
And the drink.
But nonetheless, what I will say is I agree. Karen's interview could have been done later, like maybe after she visited BravoCon, and it still could have made the season. It was just too soon. They could have had the footage of her coming home and then a later interview with her. It was too soon. And I mean, being a person that grew up around addiction and stuff like that caller said, they have to want that for themselves. No rehab or nothing like that. It's just a temporary fix. You have to want that for yourself. But Karen still lives in delusion. I see it. I'm sorry. I wish her the best. But Karen is still delusional. And Karen loves the fame because the first thing Karen wanted to do was roll that window down for them to be able to see her and wave off, and then calling them your fans and things like that. It's like, Karen is delusional and she wants to be the grande dame. And it's entertaining to watch, but it's also sad given her, her age and things like that. You would like to see her outgrow that. Not being the ageist, I promise I'm not. You would like to see her outgrow some of the things that she may have been troubled with while she was younger. But I do look forward to seeing her again and kind of putting this group together. I just hope she gets the help she truly needs.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Tyler.
Looking for a Valentine's gift she'll truly love? 1-800-Flowers.com knows what she wants. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers.com has helped guys get it right, delivering millions of fresh Valentine's roses nationwide with high-quality bouquets guaranteed to last. Right now, when you buy 1 dozen premium roses, they'll double your bouquet to 2 dozen for free. Valentine's is coming fast, so don't wait until the last minute. Double your blooms today at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at Found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.
Shipping, billing, admin, payroll, marketing. You're managing all the things. So why waste time sending important documents the old-fashioned way? Mail and ship when you want, how you want with Stamps.com. Print postage on demand 24/7 and schedule pickups from your office or home. Save up to 90% with automated rate shopping. That's why over 1 million small businesses trust Stamps.com. Go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST to try Stamps.com risk-free for 60 days.
Here's the thing in regards to her coming back to the group, because they talked about this on the after show as well, in regards to missing Karen, and Kiarna talked about this too. She kind of, I already felt the pressure that Karen talked about in that letter to the court, that feeling like the leader of the group was the pressure that she felt from being the leader of this group is the reason why she increased her usage of the drugs and the alcohol, the drink. Here's the thing. I feel like they're going to continue to put that pressure on her. Kiarna talking about, like, I think Karen would have rallied the girls. No, not one person should make this show. Not one person should be able to rally the girls. That's a lot of pressure. And y'all like to put that pressure on us Tauruses. Okay? Do it for yourself. Okay? Rally yourself. Kiarna, nothing's going to help you, girl. Nothing's going to help you. We don't want to see you come back. Just an FYI. Okay. All right, let's bring up, first Virgo. What's going on, Virgo? Adrian. Adrian, I can't hear you. Did someone try to call in? Adrian, drop out and call back in. Sometimes if you got a call or something came in, it will mess it up. All right, let me bring up El My Bell. El My Bell, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. So back in November, I actually put a post under the video because I was hit by a drunk driver a few years ago, and it was a repeat offender, and he only got 5 days. So, it could.
Repeat offender and only got 5 days in jail?
Yes. My car was totaled. I was pushed into a whole nother person. It was bad. But I just want to say, when I got out of college, one of my first jobs worked in an area that you deal with people who have alcoholism. And yes, I agree with the other callers. It was too soon. And one thing I saw there is that it takes time. What you expect when someone's first out of it, they will sound, if they are working on their sobriety, it will sound different a year later to 2 years later to 3 years later. So not having super high expectations for somebody right off the bat, it's just a work in progress.
Yeah.
And I wish her luck on her sobriety.
Amen.
Because that's all you have if you've been hit by somebody. If they don't get their sobriety right, we're all at risk when they get on the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Al, for calling in. All right, let's try Adrian again. Adrian, are you there? Oh, no, I can't hear you, Adrian. Can't hear you. Try dropping out and call back in. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, sometimes these little apps be apping up. Apping up. All right. Bernadette, what's going on? Bernadette, we can't hear you. You're muted. Bernadette, I can't hear you, Bernadette, because you're muted, Bernadette. All right, I'm going to drop you out, Bernadette. All right, let's bring up Lonely. Wait, no, so not Lonely. London Girly. Are you there? Not lonely.
Oh, gosh. Can you hear me? Everyone else has been mute.
Yeah, right? I'm like, what's going on? Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, my gosh. Kempire, can I just say, is that a Herman Miller chair?
Oh, is this a Herman? Yes, it is.
It is, because it is expensive.
Why you
got money, y'all.
Why are you clocking me? Any money that I make from this business that you guys sent in, I reinvested into the business so that I can be comfortable.
That's a good chair, because I just got one.
Oh, you got money. No, she ain't clocking me over here. Okay. What did you want to share, London Girl?
I just want to say it was, I'm not going to lie. I bought everything that Karen was selling. I was really, I believed her. I really did. I felt like she was open. I thought she was accountable. I felt it's a week after. So she was just saying how she felt in a month's time. She might feel different. A year later, she might feel different. But I was buying it. I didn't feel like she was acting or anything. I was really, really sold. And maybe because I love Karen, but like, she deserved to go to jail, and she's been to jail, and let's not act like she needs to stay there forever. Like, just give her a chance. So, yeah.
Do you think the 6 months was enough?
No, I think if it's enough, considering there were no victims. She didn't hurt anyone. If anything, she just damaged a tree, and the tree will be fine. So I think she served.
Have we checked on the tree?
So I think. I don't think we need to make her go for it any longer. She's learned her lesson. She's an old lady in jail. That 6 months is probably 4 years compared to someone much younger than her. So I think she's done her time. And I just want to say a shout out to me and to everyone else who in 2026 is going to end up on, your number one played.
Yes, come on now.
That's me and the haters. They'll never post it because they're embarrassed to say. You will never get those tags. You'll never be tagged in those videos, I promise you that. But we'll be there. Ooh, this was your number one video. And let me tell you why, because you follow me everywhere. I'm about to get in the shower. You're going to see me naked in a minute.
Where is this going?
Put my makeup on. You're going to be there. I promise you follow me around this house. That's why.
Thank you, London Girly. Hopefully I'll be able to do another show in London. Hopefully you'll be able to come.
I saw you at the last one. I will be any show in London. I will be there. I promise
you that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for calling in.
No worries. Bye.
She clocked so much tea over here. How much do you pay for your chair? And this and that. She didn't see the other chair I got. Don't tell her. All right. Let's get to, let's bring up Bernadette again. Let me just see if Bernadette's there. Bernadette, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey.
Thank you so much. Thank you for figuring out my technical difficulties.
Okay.
What I wanted to say is that Karen is still in denial. She is really like it. I clocked it because I watched the Grammys last night, and I watched because I have Peacock, I watched the replay again, and it took her up until the minus 18-minute mark to say the word alcoholism.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, like, let's be real. Like, you have an issue. This is a problem. Like, you avoided it for the first 20 minutes of the entire interview. You do have a problem. And then you're like referencing your 20-year-old DUI. Yeah, guess what? That's concerning. Like, what are we doing here? Get it together. I love you still. But at the same time, like, let's call a spade. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Brenda.
Also, really quick, I know that you said in the last Salt Lake City interview that you wanted to go to the Four Seasons. I recommend the Ritz-Carlton if you really want to treat yourself.
Oh, okay.
Ritz-Carlton Spa in Nomad, really good services.
Okay.
I have a gift card that I'm using in the next 2 days just to control myself.
No, I'm glad you said. Why can't I do both? I can't do both. Well, but like, over time, I'll go one.
Yeah, why not? All right, love you, Kempire.
Thanks, Bernadette. Take care. We were talking about spas, guys. I was talking about the Four Seasons Spa, but yeah, no, there's the Four Seasons Spa. There was with the Baccarat Hotel Spa too. So there's 3 on my list. Okay, 3. Okay. Endo says the timer has ended. Damn, Endo. All right, let me bring up Bunny next. I love the name Bunny. What's going on, Bunny?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
I'm so glad that I caught a live. It was on my lunch break. Look at God.
What's going on?
I just want to talk about Karen's situation. It just breaks my heart because I have a family member that's going through the same situation, and it was sad to see that, like, even though he was going to rehab, like, he lied to all of us and went off and got high somewhere. But I was telling his mom the other day, I was like, maybe what needs to happen is an intervention. And I don't know if that's what happened with the girls on the show, if that's going to be something for the next season, or if they even did that with Ray and her kids. But I think it's a real come to Jesus moment, because I had a conversation with my sister and she was saying, well, Karen took accountability. And I was like, but when? I said, because the entire time she was saying she was going to fight it, they were going to go to court, and her sitting in jail doesn't necessarily mean that she took accountability. And it's sad to see, because there's so many people that are out here on this road that have multiple DUIs. Especially here in Oklahoma, there was a lady and her children that just got killed, and he had 6 DUIs. And it took him murdering that whole entire family for them to put him away for like 10 years.
Oh my God.
So I think it's a real conversation. I don't think she needs to be on the show. But to end all of that, if you watched the Grammys, if you hadn't, you need to go and watch, because that dedication they did to all of our colored people that passed away, baby, they brought it all home to the Lord. So Lauryn Hill did her thing last night.
And I love how they ended it with, I was like, yes, come on, total praise.
Right, I know that. I said, happy Black History Month.
Yes. Thank you, Bunny, for calling in. Take care. That's the thing. A lot of lives could be saved if these laws nipped some of these things in the bud in regards to DUIs. So 6 DUIs and you're still on the road? That's crazy. Look, Karen, 4 related, because she says it's not 4 DUIs, 4 related alcohol traffic stops, and it took that in order for her to go to jail? All right, let's bring up Wendy next. Wendy, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. I was hoping I was going to get you before you ended, because I had an orientation to do, and I was trying to hurry up just to make a comment.
Oh, no, you hurrying people up. Come on, come on.
Yep. Okay, but not her clocking you how much your chair was. I was like, I'm trying to figure out, does FSA pay for that? Because I'm like, I kind of need that chair. But anyway, I watched the Karen thing. I was totally neutral on it. I don't have anything bad or anything good to say. Again, I had a supervisor that was unalived by a drunk driver. So I'll stay neutral, but I did want to talk about the Grammys. Okay, that dedication was everything at the end.
Yeah.
However, I really do think that the production of the Grammys forgot to include Angie Stone and Dwayne from Tony, because you notice they were the last two. But if Raphael didn't have not said anything, I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have said. Included their picture. I really think they forgot about them.
I don't think they forgot about Angie. They definitely didn't forget about Angie because Angie was included during the performance.
No. She was included, but her picture was the one of the last two. It was her picture and Dwayne from Tony.
Well, the only reason why I say that they didn't forget Angie was because of them not inviting D'Angelo and Angie's son, and then they corrected that before the Grammy. So I figured that she would be included. They didn't do a celebration of her music. That would have been nice during that performance.
It would have been. Because honestly, it would not have been a D'Angelo if it wasn't been for Angie. So, but I really do think that I kind of got the feeling that they excluded them until Raphael said, rest in peace, Angie Stone and Dwayne. Yeah. And then they included their pictures real quick. But that's it. I'm sorry to go over first time I went over.
That's okay. Thanks, Wendy, for calling in.
Bye.
Bye. So for those that may have missed and you're just joining us, I did talk about the Grammys at the top of this, so you can rewind back to time. I'm going to bring up Pageant Mommy next. Pageant Mommy, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well, how are you? Long time
I'm well,
no
getting
see.
ready for next month. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's next month. Yes, Kempire After Dark. Pageant Mommy's coming.
Yes, my love. So I just wanted to talk about this, of course, from an HR perspective, right? So
yes, let's do it.
I have unfortunately had to work with several employees who have had different types of addictions and so forth, right? And so from an HR perspective, you want to make sure that they are ready to return to work because of the risk. And we all heard her say that she attributed some of her addiction to the stress of being a leader on the show, right? Yeah. And so I really would have preferred if Andy had said, we heard you said this. How do you feel? Just addressed it, direct. Not let her more directly, right? And to make sure, because I think she needs to be, I'm not saying that she should never come on the show. Yeah. I think that she needs to be, there should be some time for her, and the time is for her to make sure that she's healthy. To be very honest, I think that her accountability was maybe 80% in terms of, even her saying, "Oh, I'm going in and I became a counselor." And he even said, like, "You're dealing with this. How are you a counselor?" Yeah. Or it wasn't 4 DUIs, it was 2, as opposed to say, I'm not, I am not. I'm speaking on her. Like, hey, I am addicted. I did something that could have, she just did not give me that she was at 100%. And in all fairness, it's still very new. Yeah. So you want to make sure that they come back and their re-entry is intentional. Yeah. But at the end of the day, and everybody likes to blame HR, at the end of the day, I'm sure, the folks at the execs at NBC are like, hey, it would be good ratings. Exactly. Right. And I know everybody loves to blame HR, but y'all need to know how business really, really works. Okay.
HR can only do so much.
And, we can advocate, but we can only do so much. And I think that she needs some time for her wellness. Because I do think she was very measured, but it was almost like she knew that she was interviewing. You see what I'm saying? Like it was like, all right, let me say what I need to say, give enough so that I, can get my money, get back on TV, the fame, and all the things. And fame is addictive.
And hence, and clearly, I think that's one of the things that stood out to us when we were covering the video and the film that she refers to it. But I'm glad that you called in and shared that perspective, because you're right. And I'm glad that someone else mentioned that we have to keep in mind their bottom line is entertainment. It's right. Ratings. It's, now we have a real story. We could follow this. They're not thinking about her well-being.
The individual, her well-being. They're not. And I'm getting, based upon what we're seeing, she wants to jump back in. Yeah. And, again, it's not been, so everyone keeps talking about her age, but let's really talk about it. She has been clearly addicted since 19. Yeah. And we know she's upwards of 60 something plus. Okay. And that's I'm not shading that, but it's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time for her to have that. And so to turn around in 525 days or whatever they said on the thing, that's not enough time for her to be, at 100%.
Yeah.
And for her, the people that love, fans, I don't know how y'all love somebody y'all don't know, but whatever. For her, you want her to be at 100%, I would think.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the other element of this too, she went to BravoCon. BravoCon, they're drinking, drugging, allegedly.
She's exposed to it.
At Watch What Happens Live, they're drinking. Like
the temptation of it. Exactly. And so these are all things that in real life, what has to be considered. And from an HR perspective, again, the re-entry has to be very strategic and intentional. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see this happening. But you know how I feel about, NBC Universal's HR, but that's another story.
Yeah. But like you said, their HR hands are tied because at the end of the day, they might have the same perspective as you, but
I doubt it. But yeah, you're right.
But they could also be used to this is entertainment because I already know Andy Cohen or one of these other executives, suits that you guys don't know, is going to come in.
Yep.
So are we able to, did we get her to say what we need her to say to bring her back?
Exactly. And I've had CEOs come CEOs come to me saying, hey, we need, and I'm like, yeah, you need, but let me tell you. So I'll go at them from, okay, if something happens again, that we're liable. So what you want to do? What we try to do? Mm-hmm. So I think that, again, all of these things need to be considered. And I get that she wants to get back out and get, back on the wagon. I guess that's the same. I think she wants to get back to her regular life.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that it's not coming from a place of shade. It's really coming from a place of making sure she's ready because. Yeah. Whatever demons had her and the insecurities and all those things will resurface.
Yeah. So, and these fans too, very much will be like, we just want Karen back. These people do not care about you, Karen. They want to be entertained.
Exactly. And that's, we can talk about that a whole nother but the fanatics.
And we will on March 13th.
We will, darling. Can't wait to see you.
Thanks, Patrick Bobby. Take care. Thanks for sharing your perspective. I'm glad she called in because that is an important perspective to have in regards to the business side of this, the HR side of this. I love our community that we're able to do that. Hey, Gary. Gary came in with a different name. Oh, wait, no, you're on Twitch. Hey, Gary. Nice picture, Gary. Gary says, love the background photo of Kempire. Thank you. Happy Black History Month. All right, let's bring up Indira next. Indira, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. First of all, it's my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
I'm Aquarius.
Okay, Aquarius. Happy birthday.
Yes. First, I would like to, thank you. First of all, I would like to say, I agree with the caller. It's entertainment. I take it as such. As much as I like Karen, I watch it because are we not entertained? And secondly, this is what I wanted to say last week, but I had to get ready for work. So as it pertains to Giselle and how she acts with the other women who come in on their happy marriages and stuff, from a light-skinned girl, I'm going to tell you this. Giselle is one of those light-skinned women who think life should have been handed to her. Ooh. Everything she should have the wonderful husband, the house, the kids, and everything. And when she see dark-skinned women with the lifestyle that she wanted, she gets jealous, she reacts, and she behaves nasty.
Oh, wow.
Every single time a dark-skinned lady comes on.
So what you're saying, she's not beating those colorist accusations?
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
Oh, noted.
Yeah. And that's it.
Thanks for calling in, Indira. Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. All right. Excuse me. Represent yourself. Coco Esquire's backstage. Coco, I'm sorry. But unless that's your YouTube handle you want to promote.
Yeah.
What is it? Represent yourself. What does it say?
Legal.
Represent yourself legal. Okay. What's going on, Coco?
I help folks represent themselves in court if they can't hire a lawyer. But anyway.
Nah, I wouldn't do it.
Well, you can clearly hire a lawyer. Look at your furniture. But 75% of people do. But anyway. Yeah, I wanted to piggyback on the last caller who gave the HR perspective and just acknowledge that Karen is a masterclass in a rehabilitation interview and clearing up some of the things where she may have misstepped. And to your point, she had to make a good showing for the executives in this interview. And she did a few great things. One, she clarified that I can be around you all and you all can continue to serve your alcohol because every time I drink, it's my choice. Nobody forced me to do this. And therefore, she couldn't later have, a cause of action against them for creating the exact HR work environment that we know is not conducive, right? So she cleared that up. The other thing she cleared up and preserved was an opportunity to go out after the drug manufacturer and her physician in the event that they don't get her dose together. Because those are cases that are active in this country regarding prescription medications and they're deep pockets. The pharmaceutical industry have deep pockets. And so this preserves a defense, a possible cause of action against them in the event that she continues to take these prescription drugs and may, for whatever reason, while operating a vehicle, have subsequent issues. And so I think that the way she conducted herself was she's a class act with regard to that. What she wore, including those little slides. I don't think I've ever seen Karen in slides.
I don't think so either. Maybe she has. Look.
Did you see her slides?
Yeah, I did.
I couldn't.
I can show you right now. Hold on. Let me bring it up. Right there.
I couldn't believe her little slides.
Are those Gucci? I think they're Gucci.
They are Gucci indeed, but I have never seen Karen in slides. And she looked great, but I think what they did was kind of humanize her and attempt to show her as a much more humble person. But I think she needs more time, and I wish they had delayed this. But if she ever needs a job, she can rehabilitate, help these celebrities go on TV, post their traumatic moment, because she nailed this interview. As an attorney kind of thinking about some of the legal risks behind the scenes, I think she nailed the things that she needed to nail to preserve future lines of defense or causes of action while making clear to NBC Universal executives that she's not going to sue them.
And my thing, the other element that I didn't talk with Pageant Mommy about was that not only were the executives meeting with HR, they were also meeting with their legal team.
Exactly, because when she was on the last videos, like, it's the environment. Well, hello, environment. People don't realize that anything can be made to be a case. Even if we don't think it's right for her to make a case, it could be. And she may have misspoke, but that needed to be cleared up. She needed to be vocal about it.
Especially when I'm on here with 500,000 followers pointing it out.
Correct. And also in light of how influential she is as a housewife in the wake of other influential, Black women like Nene and Mariah Huck suing the studio and everybody else and making these allegations, they just have to protect themselves. A lot of these things will settle quietly, but trust that money has likely been exchanged in order for them to settle. And they don't really need that kind of drama in this environment. So I think that's what she was doing when she made those remarks and even she did it with her lawyers. She kept saying, my lawyers did a great job. My lawyers did a really, really great job. And it made me wonder whether her lawyers provided those legal services complimentary because she referenced them at least 3 times.
And you remember they were being dragged on the internet, the lawyers.
Right. This was a rehabilitation interview, not only for her to clean up some of what was going on in the media, but also to get in the good graces of those for whom were kind of taking a lashing because of her previous remarks.
All right. So, represent herself legal. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Bye. All right. I mean, represent yourself legal. Sorry. All right. No, everyone else, you're not going to get that amount of time. We had professionals calling in that were sharing a legal and HR perspective. Everyone else, you're back to your minute. Okay. All right. Let me break up the last nerve. The last nerve. What did you? Not the last nerve. Uh-oh. Are you there?
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I always have to remind you that I'm the one that you cursed with the Taurus, but I ended up having a Scorpio. We talked about this like a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, because we've been going through a lot on my end. My husband lost his father, so he had to go home to Kenya. We're active duty military, so we're away from all of our family. Today's my first day back from maternity leave, so I had to get both my kids off to daycare.
Oh, that's already like a hard thing.
Yeah, and thank goodness my laptop went off so I could watch. I told my baby I was going to watch Uncle Kempire today. So it's just been a lot. But I know also sometimes Kenyans are in your comment section saying, come to Kenya, come to Kenya. I recommend it. It's beautiful. I'm a Black American, but I loved it there. They will call you Mzungu, but I mean, it's with love. It's just like a foreign person.
I mean, so, Jamaicans, and I'm Jamaican, they already call me Yankee. And I'm like, I was just born here.
They love reggae out there. They love reggae. So you can connect with them on that. I don't know. But I wanted to say that, and then just thank you for giving me something to put my mind on, because I won't be able to join my husband for the funeral because we have a 2-month-old, so I can't, and then also just a side note from a couple weeks ago, I know why Giselle is so bothered by Wendy.
Why?
I saw it and I confirmed it through like Instagram and stuff. Wendy and Jamal Bryant have the same birthday.
Geminis.
But they're the first day of Gemini season, so they're Taurus Gemini cusp.
Oh, don't be involved in no Taurus business. Stop it. so Geminis.
Look, how'd you get that to TheKempire? Some of that Wendy money? No, but again, thank you for giving me a distraction. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for calling in and saying that. I wish you the best with everything. Wait, have you sent pictures of the babies?
No, I haven't. I'm not going to lie. I'm not really tech savvy. I'm a late millennial, but I'm not tech savvy. Just don't judge me, Kevin. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You were able to call in. You tech savvy enough for that?
I only took a couple taps. All I can do, a couple taps.
Fine. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. You guys are hilarious. Miago, is that how you pronounce it? Thank you so much for the super chat. Miago says, thanks so much, Kempire. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Guys, you could also, by liking the video, that's a great way of supporting, engaging in the video. If you're part of the replay, leave a comment, a positive one. Engaging comments also helps to drive more and new people to join our community here on channel. We are recapping the one-on-one interview between Karen Huger and Andy Cohen. If you missed it, be sure to let us know your thoughts on the interview, what we've had to say, what the callers have had to say. We're going to bring up Elijah next. Hold on. Elijah, are you there?
Hello, Kempire?
Yes.
Oh, you hear me? Okay,
yes.
Cool. Okay, well, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Working, unfortunately. But
me too.
So, right, I'm good. I forgot this is your work. You know what I'm saying? So I know you, but thank you for taking time with us. But basically what I wanted to share is a couple things. I think that for me personally, I'm glad to see Karen is out. I'm glad to see, because, no one wants to see, especially, and not in a bad way, but no one wants to see a person of that age in jail, okay?
Yeah.
But what's concerning to me, what's really weird, is when Andy brings up the DUI from 20 years ago, she's like, let's be clear. And she loves to say, let's be clear. Let's be clear, that was 20 years ago. That's the issue. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, one thing is if it's a one-time, regardless, it's still wrong, but you were younger, whatever. But it's 20 years ago and it's coming up even now. We're in 2026. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird for her to kind of almost make it sound like it's a normal thing. And that's where it's a little bit disappointing, because I do love Karen. I enjoy her. I think she's funny. But this is what I will say, okay? And this is where we point to certain issues. I think what a lot of people accuse Wendy of is the same thing Karen is, okay? With the way she acts and with this kind of superiority mindset where it's like it's okay for her to slip and fall, but if someone else slips and falls, it's a problem. And she wants to pose as this, you know, and again, I love Karen, I enjoy her, but I think it's weird that people criticize Wendy for acting a certain way, acting arrogant, acting this, acting that. But even now, I feel like in her interview, while yes, I think it was a more stripped back version of her, I still think that there obviously still is that pride. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So to me, that's why I'm like, okay, we'll see where this goes. Because to me, her and Wendy are cut from a similar cloth. You know what I'm saying? Even though people don't want to admit, they both, especially with the clanky clank of it all. Okay?
And which is interesting that people view Karen differently versus Wendy, who's a darker skinned woman.
I didn't want to say it. And that's why when Karen has said on that reunion that they are the best franchise to talk about colorism, that is so wrong because we see clear examples of when one person does something, it is incorrect, and when another does it, it's okay because it's them. You know what I mean? That's just so weird to me. But anyway.
Thanks so much for calling in, Elijah, and pointing that out.
No problem. No, thank you for having me.
Always great perspectives. We love our audience. Our audience has really good perspectives. Oyen is backstage. Oyen, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So this is my first time calling in, and I wanted to kind of say what the past caller was saying, talking about colorism, especially for Potomac, and the fact that Karen has had 4 DUIs, and she's very light-skinned, fair-skinned, Black woman. If she was Wendy's skin tone, and we know the research has already shown that darker-skinned Black people are sentenced to higher time rates compared to lighter-skinned people. And I also wanted to bring in the context of her saying that she was Thomas Jefferson's mistress or concubine. Yeah, a lot of people are like kind of just pointing that out as being a crazy statement, but she's referencing the fact that Thomas Jefferson's concubine, Sally Hemings, was a fair-skinned, light-skinned, mixed-race Black woman who shared the same father as Thomas Jefferson's wife. And so I think that's also something that she's pointing out about being a lighter-skinned, fair-skinned woman that's kind of like how she's viewed in society as being closer to whiteness. So I saw a lot of people glossing over that, so I just wanted to make that comment.
No, I'm glad you did. Thank you, Oyen, for calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye. I believe that conversation came up when it was first revealed in regards to the Thomas Jefferson concubine, but I'm glad we are revisiting that conversation. All right, Kenny's backstage. We're going to bring Kenny up next. Kenny, what did you want to share? Kenny, I can't hear you. It's sounding muffled. Kenny? Are you wearing headphones, Kenny? Maybe that will change it. Or try calling back in, Kenny. All right, let me bring up Anthony next. Anthony, what did you want to share?
Hey, everyone. Anthony from San Diego, California.
I'm about to say, where are you now?
No, I'm like, I'm trying to get used to this area. But how are you, Kempire?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good, thank you. So I just wanted to, this episode I'm going to give a 3 out of 10. This episode felt like full of PR answers. It didn't feel and look sincere.
Yeah.
For 2 points, fans and Bravo. The question was asked about the fans saying she doesn't deserve to come back to the show.
Yeah.
And Karen said she doesn't know if she should come back. That's not really a confirmed answer, but she did say it's up to Bravo. It's up to the network, which of course they're going to want her to come back to follow the story. Even though, wasn't it said in court that the show was kind of giving her pressure to overwork, like it was like causing her to to somewhat drink in a way. So it's like they're like somewhat liable for her, getting into this accident.
Yeah.
So I'm not understanding, Bravo obviously does not care about any of that happened. And of course they don't want to follow the story for next season. So it's just like buffoonery in my opinion, but honestly I'm not surprised by any of this. Even though I was trying to be sincere, trying to give her some grace, but she's acting like she's above it. Obviously coming from us as viewers and fans. Well, that's how I see it. But thank you so much, Kempire.
Thanks, Anthony, for calling in from San Diego.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, man. All right. Thank you to everyone that called in. I do want to say happy anniversary, 10-month anniversary, Angel. She says, hey, Kempires, today's my B-day. I keep getting calls and FaceTime, so I keep losing my place backstage. Are you going to call back in? Thank you so much for being a member. Happy birthday to you. Shout out to anyone else celebrating a birthday. Happy Aquarius season. My girl, Brandy and Kelly Rowland will be celebrating a birthday in 9 days. You know, they're February 11th, so happy birthday to them. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says, I got both of my mugs delivered last week. Well, I'm happy. Thank you for the reminder. For those that don't know, that we have Are You Okay merch available right now. Are You Okay merch? Go get your Are You Okay merch now. There's t-shirts, there's sweatshirts, there's all kinds of stuff, including the shirt that I'm wearing from the Kempire After Dark Villain Era Tour. Okay. And then it has the tour dates on the back. So head on over to houseofkempire.com. That's HAUS of Kempire.com, or go to TheKempire.com and click the shop button. Thank you so much, Kendra, for the super chat. We appreciate that. Let me bring up Angel, because Angel's call back. Angel, happy birthday. I can't hear you. You're muted. Uh-oh. Well, damn. Oh, she dropped out. Damn. Whoa, on her birthday. On her birthday. All right, guys. We have already over 2,000 of you here watching. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget, in regards to our sponsors, all the information will be available in the description. The Kempire After Dark, a live show, returns to New York City on Friday, March 13th here. If you're in Philly, if you're in DC, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in Seattle, come on over to New York. But if you can't, there's an option. There's an option for you, a live stream option. So you'll be able to watch, and you'll be able to keep that live stream option for 1 week after the show. But you have to buy your ticket before the show. All right? Get your tickets today for that. All of that information will be available in the description. Let me see if Angel is there. Angel, are you there?
I'm here, Kempire. I'm going to try to do it quick before somebody else calls me. Oh, my God.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Oh, and I will shout out my kids. They listened to me. One did get me my Are You Okay mug, and one got me my live stream ticket, but I'm technically paying for it because they're going to ask me for money later this week.
Well, you got some good kids.
I just wanted to say, I do. They're great. For Karen, I think she didn't want to speak too much because she was abusing her medication, as we know, but we don't know how many doctors she had prescribing her the same or similar medications. And is that when alcohol took a upkick when she ran out of her pills or something? So that kind of had me concerned and questioning. And I think that she hasn't been sober that long. That's why she couldn't give an exact date on when she may have gotten clean or had her last drink. And that's why she didn't really put a time on, I don't know time about anything. I just know I got out of jail. She didn't want to give the numbers because she knew that would have convoluted and woke us up. So I think she did take ownership of her activities, but didn't take full accountability. And that's what I'm looking for from Karen going forward, so that she doesn't have any triggers when she gets back around the cast and tries to pick up a cup and drink again. So Karen, do better. We expect that from you. That's it, Kempire.
Thanks, Angel. Enjoy your birthday.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. I mean, yeah, because we talked about that as well in regards to her saying that the last time she drank wasn't, she said after the accident. I was like, what? When after the accident? Like, was it before you went to jail? I think there's a reason why, like Angel said, that she didn't put a date on it, because again, this was like she was doing PR for the show, doing an interview for the network, letting people know, letting the network know I'm good, I'm in therapy, I'm going to NA. A lot of that was to set us up for her return in season 11. I definitely think Karen is going to return. But Karen, if you ever see this, girl, take care of yourself. Because at the end of the day, they're going to roll you out there to get the ratings, to get their money. They're making far more money on this show than you are. Yes, you'll get paid for this season, but you don't get residuals. So they are going to continue to reap the benefits of you being on their platform and to save this show. We will miss you not being on the show. However, I much rather you be here on Earth with us and happy and healthy and content. We're not going to even say just happy. Content. All right? Anyone else struggling with addiction, I implore you, if you're watching this, to get the help that you need. If you are in therapy and you're not happy with your therapist, it's your money. Even if it's not your money and someone else is paying for it. Maybe, it's your right to change your therapist. Change your therapist today, okay? Or get into therapy if you've been thinking about getting into therapy. Thanks to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you to everyone that's already liked the video. Shout out to our subscribers. Shout out to our looky-loos that are watching. Shout out to our members. And of course, thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down in the live chat. There will not be a Married to Medicine recap today. It will be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to check that out tomorrow. I just have things I got to take care of this afternoon. But I will see you all then. We can talk about the quad and the king of it all and talk about last night's episode as well. Replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions as well. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Noda Queen says, Karen said that she was too hazy to watch the video during the trial. I think that this gives us an idea of the last time that she drank. I know that stood out to me too. I was just like, so you were drinking for a while, even after the accident. Because you're talking about that you were still cloudy when fighting this case. So again, her journey, she's got to prioritize that. So, all right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. I will see you all in the replay. Okay? Bye, y'all. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.
Kara here from The Kara Golden Show. If you're not using Ironclad for contracts, you could be leaving millions on the table. Ironclad's AI instantly surfaces what matters: renewal dates, pricing terms, and obligations, so you can act quickly before opportunities slip away. That's why they're trusted by great brands like OpenAI, L'Oreal, Salesforce, and so many others. Find the savings hiding in your contracts at ironcladapp.com/podcast. That's ironcladapp.com/podcast.